A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Countdown for blastoff. X -5, -4, -3, -2, X -1. Fire! From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 would-be worlds. The National Broadcasting Company presents X minus 1. Tonight, Universe. We are just beginning to discover how boundless our universe really is. And yet as man reaches out to the stars, out toward infinity, ironically enough, he may be building himself a new kind of prison. What would it be like to live all your life in a world no larger, say, than a single gigantic rocket ship bound on an endless mercy?
Hugh, look out! You all right?
Yes. Just missed me.
What was it?
A mutant with a slingshot, I think. Must have dashed down that passageway.
Want to go after it?
Oh, we'd never catch it, Alan. Probably 12 decks above us by now.
I didn't think they ever came down this far. Trolls usually get them before they reach this level.
Well, they get more daring with each generation. This one looked like a female.
Male or female, it might have killed us. I told you this trip was pure foolishness, climbing 24 deck levels to hear a crazy old man rave.
All right, Alan, we're almost there now. Let me see, compartment X15, level 24. Now, this is the place.
This area smells as if it hadn't been visited by a sanitation crew for generations.
This part of the ship is almost deserted.
Yes?
Is this the compartment of John the Witness?
Who are you?
My name is Hugh Hoyland, cadet from Scientist Barracks. This is my friend Alan Mahoney.
What do you want of John the Witness?
Well, only to talk.
Are you a believer in Jordan?
Naturally.
I have heard that there are those among the younger scientists who doubt the word of Jordan.
To doubt is death. We're not heretics.
Ah, enter.
I brought you a gift of tobacco, grown on the richest level.
Oh, it smells good.
I assure you it's of the best.
Wait here. I'll get him.
What a rat's nest. Oh, what the devil do you think he can tell you?
Alan, I'm not sure.
Well?
Are you John the Witness?
I am.
Good evening to you. I'm Hugh Hoyland. This is my friend, Alan Mahoney.
What brings a gentleman of the scientist class to my humble compartment?
I've heard that you and your parents before you have been keepers of the legend of the ship.
Since Jordan gave the word.
I'm anxious to hear the word as Jordan spoke it.
Why?
Because our young scientists, well, among them there have been some who talk against the word.
There are regulations against such heresy.
Still, some of them say the ship has no purpose. They say that we are here accidentally, that we have no more grace in Jordan's eyes than the most deformed mutant who dwells in the highest level of the ship.
What shall I say to you?
Well, I wish to hear the word from the mouth of one who knows, in order that I may become more convinced.
Sit. You have a gift for the witness?
The finest tobacco.
Good.
I will dim the lights. Now pay close attention, for these are the words as my father's father's father gave them to his son's son's son. This is how the ship came into being, how our people were created. In the beginning there was only Jordan, thinking his lonely thoughts. Out of his thoughts came a vision. Out of the vision came a planning, and out of the planning came decision. Jordan's hand was lifted, and the ship was born. Mile after mile of good compartments, tank after tank for gold and corn, ladder and passage, door and locker fit for the needs of the yet unborn. He looked on his work and found it pleasing, meet for a race that was yet to be. He thought of man, and man came into being. Then Jordan checked his thoughts and searched for a key. Man untamed would shame his maker. Man unruled would spoil the plan. So Jordan made the regulations, and order came to the works of man. A crew he created to work at their stations, scientists to guide the plan. Over them all he created captain, made him judge of the race of man. Thus it was in the golden age.
These are the true words?
As my father's father taught them.
But what of the strange beast-like people on the upper levels of the ship? Surely Jordan did not create them.
Jordan is perfect. All below him lack perfection. You have heard of the legend of Huff?
I have heard that he mutinied against Jordan.
Darkness swallowed the ways of virtue. Sin prevailed upon the ship. And before wisdom prevailed in the bodies of Huff and his followers were fed into the converter, some of the rebels escaped and lived to father the mutants. They are tainted with the sins of their fathers.
Witness, one more question.
Speak.
What is the ship?
The ship is a great sphere, 25 kilometers wide and 100 levels deep.
I know that, but the upper levels.
Regulations forbid us to venture into the upper levels, but it is said that beyond the levels of the mutants lies the forbidden place where Jordan's spirit prevails.
So I've heard, yet something troubles me. Something which prompted my coming here.
Yes, my son.
What lies beyond the ship?
What?
What lies beyond the ship?
This is heresy.
Answer me.
I will not permit such talk. The ship is complete. The ship is universal. The ship is everywhere. The ship is endless.
Your mutterings are those of a frightened old man. They answer nothing.
You question the word?
I think you lie.
Hear me, Mr. Hoyland. For what you have already said, I can have your body fed into the converter. Your soul launched on the endless trip.
You threaten me.
Hugh, for Jordan's sake.
Do you think I fear this dried fig of a man?
Hugh! Sir, my friend is impetuous. He does not understand.
I might be persuaded to forget a substantial gift.
Why, you pig.
Hugh!
Alan, come on. The sight of this so-called holy man offends me.
No, you shall not leave.
Don't try to frighten me with that gun, old man.
Remain where you are, heretic.
I warn you, put down that gun.
No closer.
Drop it.
No, very well, then. Death to the heretic.
Alan, get him. Alan. He's not breathing. Is he dead?
I don't know. Come on, Hugh. We've got to get out of here.
Right.
Nowhere. We can't go back. They'd feed us into the converter before we could even... What's that?
An alarm. That old woman must have turned it in. Come on, Alan. The patrol will be here in no time.
Where can we go?
Yes, where? The upper levels.
No, the mutants.
We'll have to take our chances. Come on, Alan. Let's go. Listen, that's a patrol. Come on, we've got to climb.
There's a hatchway. It's on the corridor.
Right, quickly.
Oh, are we fire?
Alan, up ladder. Up. Come on, Alan. Come
on. Hugh, wait. How far are we from the outside wall?
Judging by the slope of the deck, about 2 miles. Alan, let's try this passageway here.
If you hadn't asked him that stupid question.
Now, there's no use going over that.
But why did you do it?
I've been thinking about it for a long time. When he began to give me those stupid, pat answers, well, I just saw red, I guess.
Who are you to question the ways of Jordan? When you asked me to go with you to visit the witness, I thought you wanted spiritual help. I never dreamed.
I'm sorry, Alan. I'm sorry. I couldn't foresee this.
Wait a minute.
What?
I saw something move. Near that bulkhead.
I don't see anything.
Maybe my eyes are going bad. Listen! You behind us!
Alan, look out!
What are you?
Away that knife. Keep away from me, you.
Don't kill him. Not yet.
Who are you?
You must forgive my friend Bobo. Like so many of my people, he's rather impetuous. We're members of the so-called super race, I think.
Who are you? What place is this?
As you can guess, from my leg. I'm a mutant.
Mutant? Where is Alan?
Your friend is dead.
Dead?
I was not able to restrain my people in time to save him.
Why don't you destroy me and get it over with?
We do not kill for pleasure, Mr. Hoyland. Only when necessary.
You know my name?
I read your identification tag.
Who are you? Mutants can't read.
My name is Gregory.
Gregory?
I'm a leader of my people. You see, although we are unfortunate in our heredity, Mr. Hoyland, many of us are quite intelligent.
And why do you live like animals?
We'd rather live like free animals than like regimented slaves, as you do.
I've heard you practice cannibalism.
Undoubtedly, you hear many things about us. You turn your head. Why?
That monster. I've never seen a creature like him.
Bobo is an unfortunate. He was born without the power of speech.
How can you tolerate such a monstrosity?
We've learned to live with difference. If we began to destroy our imperfects as you do on the lower levels, there would soon be no one left.
It violates the regulations. The word of Jordan.
You know, Mr. Hoyland, your people are really quite primitive and barbaric.
You dare say that to me?
I dare say a good deal more. Let us go to my compartment and speak further. I'm always interested in information on the lower levels.
I'll give you no information.
Bobo. I want Mr. Hoyland in my cabin, please. I advise you to go quietly, Mr. Hoyland. Bobo has a hatred of superior beings, which is unfortunate, but quite understandable. Proceed. Enter, Mr. Hoyland.
This is where you live?
Yes.
But you have books.
Stolen from your libraries, Mr. Hoyland.
Compton's Astrophysics, Philosophy of Interstellar Navigation, Celestial Mechanics. You've read these?
Most of them.
I had no idea that you... Why did you bring me here? What do you intend to do?
Do you believe in Jordan, Mr. Hoyland?
There is no other belief.
And the trip? I suppose you believe in the trip, too.
What else is there to believe? When you die, your remains are fed to the converter, and your soul makes the trip.
And where does the trip take you?
By to Centaurus, of course.
Ah. And where or what is Centaurus?
Centaurus is... Mind you, I'm just telling you the orthodox answer. Centaurus is where you arrive when you've made the trip. A place where everybody is happy and where there's always good eating.
And you believe this?
Well, the peasants believe it literally, but many of the younger scientists, like myself, know it is figurative and symbolic. Why do you ask?
Did it ever occur to you, Mr. Hoyland, that the trip is exactly what your peasants believe it is?
What?
And that the ship and all the crew were actually going somewhere, moving?
The ship can't go anywhere. It already is everywhere.
Imagine a place bigger than the ship. Much
Bigger?
With a ship inside it, moving inside it.
There can't be any place bigger than the ship. There just wouldn't be any place for it to be.
Oh, for heaven's sake, listen. You know the lowest level?
Of course.
If you started digging a hole in the lowest level, where would that hole go?
It's forbidden to think such thoughts.
Where would it go?
I can't think about it.
Bobo, We're going to take Mr. Hoyland to the place.
No. Where are we going?
To the top level.
That's certain death.
Nonsense. I've been there 1,000 times. Come on.
No, I won't. I won't. You can't make me.
I think we can.
Please.
Now, shall we proceed peacefully, or shall I have Bobo persuade you? Open the door, Bobo. Inside.
What place is this?
This, Mr. Hoyland, is the main control room. Mr. Hoyland, you're trembling.
It isn't true. No, there's no such place except in mythology.
Ah, you younger men are so wise, Mr. Hoyland, except for one thing. This happens to be the main control room of the ship.
Main control? But it's just a huge room with an instrument panel.
And what did you expect?
How do you know this is the main control room?
See these instruments? Using them, the navigator many hundreds of years ago actually steered the ship on its voyage.
I don't understand.
I didn't suppose you would. Sit down.
Very well.
Look up. What do you see?
A huge shield.
Watch it for one moment, Mr. Hoyland. You're going to see something that few of us have ever been privileged to witness.
What are you doing?
I'm dimming the lights. Don't be frightened. Keep your eyes focused on the shield above us. Ready? Watch.
It's sliding back. Ghost of Jordan.
Well?
What am I seeing?
The universe, Mr. Hoyland. The universe in all its beauty. The stars, the planets, the suns and moons and constellations.
No, it can't be. The ship is the universe. There is nothing but the ship.
Ah, but there it is. You see it before your eyes, spread out like a canopy of glory. Do you still deny it? Answer me, Mr. Hoyland. Do you deny it?
No, I can't deny it. They've lied. They lied to all of us.
Good. I have showed this to others of your people whom we captured, and though they saw it before their very eyes, they would not believe it.
Please tell me all about it. Tell me the truth about the ship and about the universe. What are these things? How did this come about?
Many thousands of years ago, on a planet like those you have just seen, a planet called Earth, a scientist named Jordan decided to build a ship that would carry men from one planet to another. For many years, Jordan and thousands of others studied and planned. And when they were finished, they built the ship. A ship so large that it had to be assembled in its own orbit beyond a place called the moon. 60 years it took them to construct. And when it was finished, a whole new science had been conceived. Then the trip was begun. The trip that was to land a colony of Earthmen on a far-off planet called Centaurus, millions of light years beyond the furthest planet ever reached before.
How do you know these things?
Among my books are the log, which Jordan himself kept, and the records of the journey for the first 40 years.
What happened?
There was a mutiny. A man named Huff led a rebellion of those who wanted to turn back. In the struggle, the navigators were killed. The crew fell into a state of anarchy. In the years to follow, small groups of men tried to organize the ship for navigation, and each time they failed. Finally, the whole idea was abandoned. And so, for centuries, we have swung in space, unmanned, undirected, living in a lost world of our own making, without purpose, without direction.
Why have you told me this?
Can't you guess?
You want to finish the trip.
Yes, but I can't.
You can't?
Look at me, Mr. Hoyland. You see, a mutant, a man with a twisted leg. My people are outcasts, condemned to death if we so much as set foot in the lower levels of the ship. The main drive is in the lower levels where my people are forbidden to go. No. It would mean that both our people would have to work together. Our differences encouraged rather than denied.
All right. I'll see the captain himself. I have an uncle on the central board. I'll tell him what I've seen here.
And do you think he'll believe you?
Send one of your people with me.
That's asking a good deal.
I'm risking a good deal by going back.
Very well. Bobo will go with you.
Bobo? He can't talk.
There will be no need for talk. I will write a message guaranteeing safe conduct for a group of unarmed scientists to visit the main control room. Bobo will take you safely through our territory. What happens when you reach your own level is up to you.
One moment. Yes, what? You?
Quick, Uncle. Let us in.
But this mutant.
He's harmless. Please, Uncle, please.
Now, what is this? You're wanted for...
I know all about that. Uncle, listen. I must see the captain.
The captain? Are you mad?
Uncle, you're a council member. You can get me to see him.
He'll kill you. You're wanted for heresy.
I don't care. I must speak with the captain. Now, Uncle, you're close to him. You can arrange it.
I don't understand.
Listen to me. The ship is moving. I can prove it. Do you understand? There is a purpose in the ship.
I don't understand what you're babbling about.
Now, never mind. Just talk to the captain. Tell him I have information of tremendous importance. Tell him I've arranged a truce with the mutants.
Truce?
Here. Show him this paper. Signed by their leader. Do it, Uncle, for my sake.
I don't know what...
Uncle, please, if I'm to die, let this be my last request to you.
Very well. I'll speak to the captain.
And you say, Mr. Hoyland, that you saw this with your own eyes?
I swear it, Captain. I swear it on the word of Jordan.
Let me see the paper again. Commander Erst, what do you think?
I don't know, sir. It might be a trick.
I guarantee you safe conduct.
If these things are as Mr. Hoyland reports them, it would pay to risk a few lives.
The man is a convicted heretic.
Still, we must not discount his word. He has a safe conduct, and the mutant risked its life coming with him. I think we might investigate.
Captain, you mean you will do it?
I will have an expedition outfitted. Dismissed, Mr. Hoyland.
Thank you, sir.
Captain,
Commander Erst.
Sir.
You will make the necessary arrangements for an expedition. And I trust you understand.
Perfectly, sir. Perfectly.
Lieutenant.
Mr. Harlem?
You better halt your men here. This is the spot.
Patrol! Up! Well, I see no welcoming party of mutants.
There'll be none. Their leader will meet you inside the main control room.
You don't say. Just where is this main control room?
Beyond that door.
I see. All right, men. Ready up.
Lieutenant, why do you ready arms?
In case of ambush.
Ambush? Wait a minute, Lieutenant. What are those men doing with that ray gun?
Just aiming it at the door.
Are you mad?
No, Mr. Hoyland, but most certainly you are to think that we could be lured up here to be slaughtered with a fantastic story about some mythical control room.
Guns ready, sir.
Lieutenant, I warn you, these people have acted in good faith. You can't break that faith.
Oh, mutant! Come out!
For Jordan's sake,
Hold it.
Lieutenant.
A little too quiet for comfort. Mutant! Open the door!
Please, Jordan, don't let anything happen. Don't let...
All right, it's opening. Ready, men? Someone's coming out. Steady.
Gregory, stay back! You fools! You've killed him!
Here come the rest of them. Fire! Fire!
That should teach them a lesson they won't forget. All right, men, inside the room. Come on, Harlan. You're under arrest as a conspirator in this ambush.
Ambush, you fool. You blind, stupid fool.
All right, that'll be enough. You've been inside this place before?
Yes.
What's this machinery?
These are the controls he would have used to steer the ship.
Gone out of his mind, Lieutenant.
Steer the ship? Who?
The leader, the one you killed.
This ugly mutant?
This ugly mutant happened to be a man of true genius.
Why, you're mad.
Am I? Lieutenant, this man had a vision which would have saved you, but you chose to kill him because you couldn't stand the sight of his difference from you.
Shut up, Highland. Don't listen to him, man.
You can't shut your eyes, and you can't shut your minds, and you can't shut your ears to this.
Roof's moving back.
Yes, look. Let the vision of this confound your ignorance and blind your eyes. This is the heritage of stars and open skies, for which men have yearned for centuries. Try to destroy this, and you will only destroy yourselves. Death to the heritage. But I say to you that you can't keep this from our people. They will seek it out. The ship will be manned, and the ship will be steered, and there will be freedom, purpose, and respect for ourselves. This is your heritage. Look upon the universe.
Kill him.
X-1 has just brought you Universe, a story written by Robert Heinlein and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Heard in the cast were Donald Buca as Hugh, Peter Capell as Gregory, Bill Griffiths as Alan, Abby Lewis as the woman, Edgar Staley as the witness, Jason Johnson as the uncle, John Seymour as the captain, and Ian Martin as the lieutenant. Your announcer is Fred Collins. X-1 is directed by Fred Way and is a transcribed NBC Radio Network production. And now, next week we have a strange story to tell. A sweet, blood-curdling little story that is really only 2 sentences long. The last man on Earth sat alone in a room. And then there was a knock on the door. What knocked on that door? You'll find out next week on X-1.
When you buy United States savings bonds, you help to build your own future security. Here's an opportunity to save systematically for long-range personal objectives. So invest in United States savings bonds. Now follow the Abbotts to mystery and adventure over most NBC radio stations.
Countdown for blastoff. X-5, -4, -3, -2, X-1, fire! From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 would-be worlds. The National Broadcasting Company presents X-1. Tonight, the science fiction classic, Knock, by Frederick Brown. Tonight we have a strange story to tell. A sweet, blood-curdling little story that is really only 2 sentences long. The last man on Earth sat alone in a room. There was a knock at the door.
What's that?
Good morning, man.
What? Who are you?
You have regained consciousness.
Who are you?
I am Zan.
I'm still asleep, I must be.
You are not asleep.
Maybe if I close my eyes, it'll go away.
I will not go away, man.
Oh. I guess I'm awake. What are you?
I am a Zan.
What's that?
A Zan is intelligent life.
Look, I don't... What happened? Where are you from?
From Planet 7 in the 3rd galaxy in the 4th quadrant.
Where?
It is not necessary to repeat information which is correct in the original statement.
Planet 7, but... You mean I'm not on Earth?
You are still on your planet.
Then what are you doing here?
The Zans have annexed your world.
You mean you've conquered Earth?
Yes, that is correct. We will now prepare your planet for habitation by the Zan.
How about the people? What about the population of the world?
You are the population of the world.
Hmm? Now, wait a minute. I can't... I don't understand what's happened.
The Zan have landed on your planet. We have removed the lower life forms to prepare for colonization by the Zan.
When did all this happen?
2 days ago. You have been unconscious until now.
You really mean I'm the last man on Earth?
That is correct. Identify yourself now.
What?
Kindly provide data as to your position in the elementary social order of your planet.
Oh. I'm Walter Phelan, Associate Professor of Anthropology at Nathan University. How do you speak English?
We have deciphered your written and recorded records. It is not difficult to reconstruct your language. It is a primary type of auditory communication.
Oh.
Is there anything you want to complete your natural habitat?
You mean I'm a prisoner?
That is correct. What would you want further in your room?
Do I have to stay here?
Yes.
The rest of my life?
Forever.
You better bring me my books.
That will be done.
That's rather considerate of you. You know, I've got to call you something. Do you mind if I call you George?
It is immaterial. I will be back, Associate Professor of Anthropology.
Oh, that's all right, George. Just call me Walter.
Very well, Walter. I will be back with your books.
All right, George. I'll be seeing you around.
You will not be around, Walter. You will be here.
Come in. Oh, hello, George.
Hello, Walter.
Wait a minute. You're not George. You're different somehow.
It makes no difference. The Sun are many, and they are one.
Then I'll call you George, too. I'll call you old George. What can I do for you?
Point 1. You will please henceforth sit with your chair facing the other way.
Uh-huh. I thought so, George. That plain wall is different from the other side, isn't it?
That is correct. It is transparent.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm in a zoo, right?
That is correct.
How many other animals do you have in the zoo, George?
216.
Not complete, George. Even a Bush League zoo could beat that. Did you just pick at random?
Yes. All species would have been too many. Male and female, each of 108 kinds.
Male and female, huh? Of all the animals?
There is a female of your species among the collection.
Anyone I know? Well, never mind. It doesn't matter anyway. Well, what do you feed us all, eh?
For carnivorous species, we make synthetics. The flora was not hurt by the vibrations which destroyed animal life.
Oh, nice for the flora. Well, George, you started out with point 1. I deduce there is a point 2 kicking around somewhere. What is it?
Something we do not understand.
Oh?
2 of the other animals sleep and do not wake. They are cold.
Don't worry, George. It happens in the best regulated zoos.
What is wrong with them, Walter?
Nothing much. They're just dead.
Dead?
Mm-hmm.
That means stopped. But nothing stopped them. Each was alone.
Well, maybe they just died of old age.
Old age? I do not understand.
You don't? How old are you, George?
Your planet went around the sun about 7,000 times since I was born.
7,000 years?
Yes, I am still young.
Yeah, babe in arms. Look, George, you've got something to learn about this planet you've hijacked. Here on Earth, we've got somebody you don't know where you come from. An old man with a beard and an hourglass and a scythe. Your vibrations didn't kill him.
What is he?
Oh, old man Death. Down here, our people and animals live until somebody, the Grim Reaper, stops them.
He will stop more?
He gets us all, George. With your lifespan, it won't seem like a minute and we'll all be gone. Looks like you made a mistake, George. And I don't think there's much you can do about it.
That is not correct. The Zan is a logical being. We will take action.
Oh, George, where are you taking me?
We will be there shortly. We will bring your books and your chair.
You mean my lease is up?
I do not understand.
It's moving day?
That is correct. We are here now. You will live here now, Walter. It is a larger room.
Well, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home.
Go inside.
Oh, be careful with those books, George. Don't lose my... Oh, excuse me.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I guess George didn't explain. George tries to be polite, but he hasn't quite caught on yet. I'm Walter Phelan.
My name is Grace Evans, Mr. Phelan. What's all this about? Why did they bring me here?
I think I know why, but let's go back a bit. Do you know just what has happened otherwise?
No, not exactly.
Well, I've been talking to George.
George?
Well, that's what I call them, all of them. There's no way to tell them apart anyway. There aren't many of them here yet. They come from outside the solar system, sort of an advanced scouting party.
I saw their spaceship. It's as big as a mountain.
Yeah, they're moving in on us. They cleaned off the Earth with some kind of vibration. It destroys all sorts of animal life. I don't know whether they did it all at once or if they had to circle the Earth a few times, but they killed everybody.
No. I was afraid
The cheerful note is that you and I and 200-odd other animals were picked up beforehand as specimens for the zoo. You do know this is a zoo, don't you?
I suspected it. But I don't remember anything about being captured. I just woke up here.
Well, my hunch is they used the vibrations just low enough to knock us all out. And then they cruised around, picking up samples at random. When they were all set, they turned the juice on full blast.
How terrible.
Yeah, well, they solved a lot of problems for us. Housing shortage, wars, even the atomic bomb. I don't suppose the human race, you and I, have to worry about anything now.
It's awful.
Only they made a mistake. They underestimated us.
I don't understand.
They thought we were immortal.
But we were what?
Immortal, like they are. Oh, they can be killed, but the Zans don't know what natural death is. They didn't know anyway until they lost two of us yesterday.
You mean there are more than two of us?
Oh, not more of our species, no. These were merely fellow animals, a rabbit and a canary. And by the Zan's way of figuring time, the rest of us are only good for a few minutes apiece. It's a joke on them. They figured they had permanent specimens here in the zoo.
Well, didn't they even know we'd all die eventually?
I don't think so. George, that is the second Zan I saw, told me he was 7,000 years old, and he's young by their standards. When they learned how quickly we die, they were practically shocked to the core, if they have cores.
How can you talk that way about it?
Academic detachment. I learned it at faculty teas. At any rate, they decided to reorganize their zoo. 2 by 2.
What, are they going to keep us locked up together in this one little room?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. There's plenty of furniture, though, and George promised to bring me my chair.
We've got to do something.
Why?
Well, I don't know. It just seems to me we owe it to the human race to do something.
Oh, well, perhaps you have a suggestion?
There must be some way. They can be killed, you said.
Oh, yes, I've been studying them. They look horribly different, but I think they have about the same metabolic and digestive system as we. I think that anything that would kill one of us would kill one of them.
But you said 7,000 years.
Yeah, I think I figured it out. Now, George cut his, I suppose you'd call it his hand, when he brought in my books. Started to bleed, red blood. But I could see the cut closing as he stood there. By the time he left, it was healed.
I don't understand.
Well, you see, whatever factor there is in man that makes him grow old is missing in the Zan. Their regenerative powers must be unlimited. They just don't wear out. They go on and on until they're stopped.
Suppose we killed one. There must be some way.
Oh, what would be the use? They wouldn't even punish us. They'd just give us our food through a trapdoor and put up a sign saying, "Beware of the man. Dangerous."
I don't think they'll even have to bother in your case. I don't see anything funny.
I'm sorry. It just reminds me of Martha.
Martha?
My wife. She died 2 years ago.
I'm sorry.
Well, not at all. It was a pleasure. That'll be George with my books. Come in. Hello, George.
Hello, Walter. Point 1. I have brought your books.
Point 1, eh? What else is on your mind?
Another creature sleeps and will not wake.
Oh?
A small feathered one called a duck.
Well, it happens, George. I warned you. Old Man Death, the Grim Reaper. I told you about him.
Walter, the Council of Zan has met. It has been decided logically that A, no life form can withstand the full-strength vibrations with which we cleared your planet. Therefore, the Grim Reaper you spoke of does not exist.
Pretty neat, George. What's B?
B, the only intelligent life to escape the vibrations is you. Therefore, the logical conclusion is you are stopping these animals by some means unknown to us.
George, you are off your trolley.
You will tell me now how this is done.
You've got me.
Yes, we have. It is necessary to save the remaining specimens as long as possible. If we do not get the information, we may be forced to dispense with your species entirely. This means you, Walter, and the female.
Now, hold on, George. Don't go off half-cocked. Let me take a look at these animals that won't wake up.
I will take you there now. Go first, Walter.
After you, my dear George.
This is the weasel.
Now, you should have got him in the winter, George. The fur's worth more then. It's ermine.
This is the reptile cage. Here are the ducks. That is the male. The female has been stopped.
Lucky girl. What's the matter, fellow? Lonely?
Walter, you will tell me how you stopped the female duck.
Well, you got me, George. I didn't do it. Maybe she died of the Dutch elm blight.
Walter, you are not being logical. We have concluded you are stopping these animals. Tell us now how it is done.
I've told you, George. I haven't the foggiest notion.
Very well. We will have to take further action.
Oh? What are you going to do, George?
We will go back now to your room.
What happened, Mr. Phelan?
You might call me Walter. After all, George does. And we have more in common.
Please, what happened?
Oh, just a duck, a dead duck. George thinks I killed her by remote control. He wants me to tell him how.
Did you?
Look, I'm just an ordinary anthropologist. There's no telling what those animals died of, just natural causes. But George can't see it that way. He thinks I'm holding out on him.
Good.
What?
At least we can get back at them some way. At least we can do something to them.
Well, why? After all, George isn't a bad fellow, if you like an ant mentality.
How can you say that? Well, they murdered the whole the human race.
I suppose so, but we can't change that now, so why think about it?
We just can't sit here and do nothing.
I fail to see how we can do anything else.
But at least we could be fighting.
I can't see the virtue in that. I was more or less content with my books, and we've got George to talk to.
Of all the men in the world they had to pick, don't you want to fight back? Don't you want to keep on fighting to the end?
It hadn't occurred to me.
But we've got to, Walter.
Why?
Well, I can't really explain it, but, Walter, if there was any good in man, it was that he kept on struggling against nature and, in the end, even against himself. But he kept on fighting for what he thought was right, and we're all that's left. Walter, we just can't end by giving up. We've got to keep on fighting.
You know, you do remind me of Martha.
There isn't much left for us. We could beat them in this one small thing. We can pretend there's a secret about death. We could refuse to tell them anything.
Well, there isn't anything to tell.
But they don't know that. Promise me you won't give in.
Well, I suppose the worst they can do is kill us. All right, Miss Evans. Hello, George.
Hello, Walter. Now you will tell us how these animals are stopped.
George, this may come as a shock to you, but I've decided not to tell you.
Why?
Oh, a romantic attachment to lost causes. My grandfather was a Confederate officer.
Walter, you are not being logical.
Neither was my grandfather. He charged a Yankee battery with 1 round of ammunition and a corncob pipe.
You are not logical, but that is expected in lower life forms. You will come with me now, Walter.
Where are you taking him?
To the 2nd level. Go now, Walter.
You won't tell them.
I can't guarantee anything, but as of now, I don't intend to.
We've got to fight, Walter. Remember that. We've got to go out fighting.
Yes. Yes, I think you're right.
Go now, Walter.
Goodbye.
It's been a pleasure, Miss Evans.
I am waiting. Go now, Walter.
After you, my dear George.
You will tell us now, Walter? That was the first level of vibration. There are many more. However, we have calculated that none of them exceed your threshold of unconsciousness.
Oh, very clever, George.
Of course. You will tell us now, how do you stop these animals? You will tell us now?
As of now, no. However, I'm not very brave, if that encourages you, George.
You are not being logical, Walter.
You're telling me.
We will now use vibration level 2. Walter, you are still conscious.
Let me alone, George.
You will tell us now how you stop the animals?
Let me alone.
We have had vibration levels 1 and 2. There are still 15 more before your threshold of unconsciousness.
No. Let me alone.
Walter, listen to me. Another creature sleeps and will not wake. We must know now.
It's tough. You better start vibrating again, George.
No.
What?
It would not be logical. We have calculated that no further level of vibration will overcome your irrational psychological block. We conclude you will not tell.
Let me go?
That is correct.
That's real nice of you, George. I appreciate it.
We have calculated that the resistance of the female of your species will be lower. We will now place her under the vibrations.
No, George, you can't do that. Now, listen, George. George, there is no secret. Can you understand that? There is no secret. Those animals died from natural causes. I'm telling you the truth.
That is not a logical answer. We will get the woman.
I've told you the truth. Can't you understand?
We must know now. The female animal cage next to the duck has been stopped. We must preserve the survivor.
The animal next to the duck?
We will bring the woman here. She will tell us after the vibration.
No. Listen, George. You want the truth? You want to know how to save the mates of the animals that have been stopped?
You will tell us now?
Yes, I'll tell you now. I give up. But you've got to promise to leave the woman alone. You promise, George?
If we receive the answer from you, Walter, there will be no further need for the vibrations.
Well, I guess that'll have to do. All right. Take me to that stopped animal. I'll tell you how to save the mate.
Very well, Walter. You are being logical now. We will go.
Walter, are you all right?
Just let me catch my breath a minute.
What did they do? What happened?
After a while, I told them what they wanted to know.
Oh, no.
As George pointed out, it seemed to be the logical thing at the time.
But you promised.
I know.
It was our last chance to beat them on even one little thing.
Perhaps. You mind if I sit down?
You gave up.
I suppose you could call it that. I'm very tired.
They've beaten us completely then. There isn't even anything we can do. The last of the human race, and we give up. We don't even die fighting.
Oh, it isn't that bad. Something might turn up, Martha.
What did you call me?
Huh? No, I must have said Martha. Sorry, she was my wife. She died 2 years ago. What were you saying?
Nothing. It doesn't matter. It's too late. It's too late for the whole human race.
What now, George?
The council of the Zan has met.
No? Something wrong, George?
A Zan has been stopped.
What?
Zan is dead?
That is correct.
Well, you didn't believe me, George. But you can die. You can really die. You'll have to get used to that if you're going to stay here.
The council has decided. A, you have in some way stopped this Zan. B, you and the woman must be eliminated.
Walter.
No, you've got it wrong, George.
The council has decided. This time you will have the full vibration.
This time? Walter, what did they do to you?
Oh, they have a rather effective third degree.
They tortured you, Walter?
Yes.
And I thought... Oh, Walter, it was all my fault.
I wouldn't even have tried without you. I suppose we have a last chance now to end with some dignity.
I think you're a very brave man, Walter.
No, not very. There isn't much else to do. Do we go now, George?
Now, Walter. Wait.
What's that?
I have been told Another Zan has died.
Now will you believe me?
The Council of the Zan meets now.
2 gone already, and you were with me, George. You know I didn't kill this one.
What stopped him then?
I told you, it's old man Death. You came to the wrong planet, George. Your immortality doesn't go down here. He can stop you, but you can't stop him. And you'll all die if you stick around. What now?
The Council has decided. This is a place of death. We will leave your planet.
Leave? You mean you're giving up?
It is not safe for the Zan.
Oh, Walter, they're leaving. They're really going.
Go on then, George. And don't hurry back.
It would not be logical to do so. We are leaving the Earth now. Goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye, George. Well, they're all aboard now.
So wonderful to feel the sun and the wind again.
Yeah, they've closed the hatches.
Walter, is it safe for us to be out here?
Yes, they're not interested in us any longer. They only want to get away. And I want to see this, Grace. The Zan leaving Earth forever. They're blasting off.
There they go.
Yes, it's all over now. Well, I suppose we might as well go back in.
I still don't understand. Walter, what made them go?
I just told them the facts of life.
Of death, you mean?
No, of life. After all, I thought George was old enough to know. At 7,000 years, he was going to be a pretty big boy.
I wish you'd stop joking and tell me what happened.
Look out for the step. Well, you remember when the first animals died?
The rabbit and the duck?
Yeah, and their mates just started to pine and waste away?
Yes.
Well, that worried the Zan. They wanted to keep the last specimens alive if they could. So finally, I broke down and told them about affection.
Affection?
Yes. And then I introduced Donald.
Donald? Who's that?
Here we are. Grace, meet Donald.
Oh, Walter, please. What does affection have to do with it?
That's what the Zan wanted to know. I told him it was love that made the world go round. That having lost his mate, Donald would die immediately unless he had affection and constant petting.
Petting?
Hmm? I even showed him how. Here, fella, come on. Come here. I held Donald in my arms, and I petted him a while. Then I let the Zan take over with the animal in the next cage.
What animal?
Take a look.
You mean this cage?
Mm-hmm. Watch out. Don't go too close.
Walter, it's a rattlesnake.
Yes. Their metabolism made it impossible for them to die of old age, but I had a hunch that they could be poisoned.
Well, then it was the snake that killed the 2 Zan.
Mm-hmm. They never even knew what bit them.
Then you outwitted them, Walter.
Well, I suppose...
I thought you'd just given up. Oh, Walter, I'm so ashamed.
You don't have to be. I had given up. I probably wouldn't have fought if you hadn't pushed me. Well, we've got a world to plan. A new world, Grace.
I know.
We'll have to decide which animals to let out of the zoo and which ones it'd be safer to keep in. But first, there's a bigger problem.
What's that?
The human race.
Oh.
We've got to make a decision about that. Pretty important one.
Yes, but...
It's been a nice race, even if nobody won it. Of course, it may go backward for a while until it gets its breath, but we can save the books and all the most important things and get it started ahead once more.
No.
It's the Garden of Eden all over again. But, Eve, you'll have to watch out for that snake.
Now, don't be ridiculous, Walter.
You know, funny, you even blush like Martha. Only you're stronger than she was. Prettier, too.
I wish you'd forget about Martha.
I think I will, my dear. If you'll give me time.
Now, Walter Phelan, you listen to me. If you think for 1 minute that I
thought it would never happen to me again. But it is love that makes the world go round. So, Grace, if you could only...
No. I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man on earth.
But that's exactly what I am.
I don't care. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm going out.
All right, my dear, but think it over. And please come back.
You see, I told you. It wasn't really so horrible, our story. Remember how it goes? The last man on Earth sat alone in a room. And then there was a knock on the door.
Come in. Come in, Grace, my dear.
You see? It wasn't horrible at all. In just a moment, a word about next week's adventure. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Knock by Frederick Brown, adapted for radio by Ernest Kinoy. Featured in the cast were Alex Scorby as Walter, Laurie March as Grace, and Louis Van Rooten as the Zan. X-1 was directed by Fred Way and is an NBC Radio Network production. And now, next week. A strange and chilling story from the Bureau of Missing Persons. The story of what occurred when they accidentally intercepted a short-wave message. A cry for help from a missing atomic scientist who told them the fantastic story that he was now the man in the moon. How did it happen? You'll hear next week at X minus 1.
Join the Abbotts on another baffling mystery tonight over most NBC radio stations.
No matter how long and how hard any job seems to be, there's always a way to do it. Always an answer to everything that seems to go wrong. And it looks as if the Gregory party have found the answer to their troubles. When Mrs. Gregory, her daughter Joan, Jerry Hall, and Captain Bradford were taken to the Euclidean city beneath the sea and given their freedom to roam through the city as they pleased, it proved that the freedom was mostly imaginary, as they are prisoners. Perhaps even more surely prisoners than they were on the Magic Island. The Euclidean city is built in 13 enormous natural caves under the ocean, the smallest of these rooms being 1 mile in diameter, and the largest nearly 2 miles across. The highest point in this weird city is 200 feet below the water, and escape has seemed impossible. Now, however, we find Jerry and Joan walking through one of the large caves, and they're mighty cheerful about something.
But, Joan, are you sure G47 will keep its promise?
I have told you repeatedly, Jerry, that G47 need not stoop to the practice of deceiving anyone. He is quite secure in Euclidia.
No, I guess that's right. He could let Tex work with those rocket ships all he wanted to, and still be mighty sure that there wasn't any danger of our stealing one of them.
Captain Bradford is very clever, but even he would find it impossible to take a rocket ship out of these underwater caverns.
Yeah, I guess he would. But if the Euclidean... Hey, where are we going?
We are going to the transportation room, where we will be allowed to see all of the Euclidean methods of transportation.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
What were you about to say when you interrupted yourself?
When I interrupted myself?
Yes, Jerry, you were mentioning the Euclidean rocket ships and the impossibility of getting one of them out of this colony.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just thinking about how impossible that impossibility really is.
Jerry, an impossibility is an impossibility. There are no degrees of comparison. A matter is either possible or impossible.
You just saved me the trouble of trying to tell you that. If it's impossible to get all those submarine rocket ships and all the other gadgets these guys use to get around in, and if it's impossible to get them out of here, what good are they? Did they build them just to look at them?
I stated that Captain Bradford could not get them out.
The Euclideans get them out, don't they?
Naturally.
And Tex Bradford can get them out.
That does not follow. The Euclideans will impose certain restrictions on the captain.
And when Tex gets ready, he'll smash those restrictions all to pieces.
I hope you are correct, Jerry.
You sound like your hopes were mighty weak. Say, Joan, our footsteps don't make any more noise.
I had observed that. We are entering a section of the city where the floor of the cabin has been covered with the Euclidean noiseless steel.
And our voices are getting that funny hollow sound they had up in that sound laboratory on the island.
So they are. I believe that would indicate that we are approaching one of the more important sound testing laboratories on this level.
Then maybe we'll see something interesting, huh?
If we are allowed to see anything, it will prove interesting.
Well, I'll agree with that. These Euclideans put on a good show, even if they're only giving you something to eat.
Jerry, stop.
What's the matter?
In another moment, you would have walked into that steel wall.
Oh, looks like it. Oh, well, we can go some other way.
But the captain wanted us to visit the transportation chambers, and we were directed here.
Well, directed or not, I'm not walking through any walls today.
There must be some other manner of passing that wall.
Oh, sure there is. But if they don't want us there, we'll stay on this side.
Jerry, there is that signal again.
Yeah. Sounds like the one they used when they want us to come to lunch. But it's only 4 o'clock now.
The signal sounded 4 times. Is that not logical at 4 o'clock?
Well, sure, if that's what it's for. But they didn't do that at 1 or at 2 or at 3 o'clock. Why do it at 4?
I do not know.
Well, maybe... Oh, golly whiskers, Joan.
What is it, Jerry?
Look, through this wall.
Euclideans.
I'll say Euclideans.
I have never seen so many together at one time.
Well, there must be 50 of them, all dressed alike, in those funny costumes of Euclidean cloth.
They are rapidly approaching this transparent steel wall.
And this wall's plenty soundproof, or else they're walking on this noiseless steel. They're heading straight for this wall.
Then there is an opening in the wall for them to pass through.
Well, unless they're going to walk right straight through it.
This is a solid steel wall, Jerry, and there is no magic in Euclidia.
Well, that's what old G47 told us when we first got here, but I still don't believe it.
If you will look carefully at this wall, you will note that it is rising. Silently and slowly, but surely rising.
Yeah, it's going up all right. Say, we'd better get back out of the way and let the parade through.
It will be wise to step slightly to one side.
Well, that wall's up just over their heads now, and here they come. Gee, that's a creepy sight. That long line of people, all dressed exactly alike, marching along in single file, looking straight ahead, and not a sound out of them.
Needless conversation is not encouraged among the workers of Euclidia.
Well, this bunch sure isn't wasting any words on us. I never knew so many blamed people could have so little to say as a gang around this spooky place.
I think we should attempt to pass under the wall while it is raised.
Good girl, Joan. Come on. And if anybody stops us, they'll have to move out of that chain gang they're in. I'd be glad just to get in that chain gang and watch it bust up.
Quickly, Jerry. The procession is nearly through.
Okay, come on then. Only a couple of steps and we'll be on the other side of the wall. Well, we made it, and nobody tried to stop us.
We are barely in time. The wall is sinking down to the floor.
And that long line of spooks is marching off someplace.
Jerry, what is a spook?
Oh, a spook is something you see every time you turn around on Euclidia, and G47 says he hasn't any up.
Oh, that is horrible English, Jerry.
Well, maybe it is, but it's the way I feel. Oh, boy. Our voices sound all right again.
That is something.
Yeah, and we're on the other side of the wall. That's something else.
It will be difficult to decide upon our course.
Huh? Oh. Why, Joan, this is really something to see.
I agree with you.
Are you sick?
Sick? You think I am ill?
Oh, must be something wrong with you. You agree with me.
Jerry, will you please?
All right. I won't try to have any more fun with you. Let's get down to business and decide which one of these little streets we want to use.
There is apparently no activity at any point in this portion of Euclidia.
Sure not much going on, but what a place this is. A regular little modern city, all laid out in streets and everything just perfect. I got it.
What have you, Jerry?
I've got the answer to this model town.
Yes?
Well, I'll bet the Euclideans are planning to start model towns like this when they take over the rest of the world.
Well, that is possible. It is indeed a model of neatness.
Well, I guess it won't do any harm to look in one of these windows.
Wait, Jerry.
Huh?
As we are walking on this noiseless stone, do you not think we should give some indication of our presence before we attempt to peer into windows?
Well, I suppose we ought to. Hello in there. Hello in there. Hello in there.
Jerry, you are terribly noisy.
Guess I'm not noisy enough, though. I didn't wake anyone yet. I'll try it again.
Please do not. I think we may consider these buildings vacant and observe them as we choose.
On the contrary, you would be very foolish to attempt to pry into the secrets of those buildings.
Gee, the girl commander.
Precisely.
I am sorry if we have overstepped the privileges given us by G47.
You have not done so as yet.
No, then we won't. But where did you come from?
The building you have just passed. My quarters are contained in that building.
You were correct, Jerry. These are occupied.
Indeed, they are. These buildings are the quarters of the various commanders. You are now in Transportation Sector Number 1. This entire block is occupied by submarine commanders. The adjacent street houses airplane pilots.
Well, we don't want to stick our noses in any place we're not supposed to see, but G47 told us we could look at anything we get into.
That is a point on which I must question you. How did you get into this sector?
We just walked in.
Through the steel separation wall?
That wall was raised to allow a long column of workers to pass through. We entered as they passed out.
So? Someone in the control tower is very careless. You must leave at once.
But, Commander...
Silence. You must leave at once. If you were found here, G47 would deprive you of all freedom and confine you to your quarters.
Okay, Skipper. How do we get out?
Follow me as rapidly as possible. I will personally allow you to pass through a private entrance in the rear of my quarters.
Well, where will we be after we get there? I mean, what kind of a place will we be in? And how do we get from there back to our quarters?
You will be in the agricultural chamber.
You mean where the pigs and the chickens and the cows are?
Precisely. You will be directly across the animal husbandry section from your own sector.
But, Commander, how can that be? We have walked for miles, and we left that room at the beginning of our tour.
The various caverns making up Euclidia form a rough circle. You have nearly completed that circle.
Golly whiskers, Joan. We've been walking in a circle.
Precisely. Now I will open the door, which will admit you to the agricultural section.
Jerry, it is indeed the chamber in which we started our walk.
It sure is. And is that the elevator to our quarters way over there on the other side?
That is the elevator. One moment while I close this door.
You need not trouble yourself to the extent of conducting us to our elevator.
Silence. I have news for you.
News for us?
Precisely.
Good or bad news?
Your conduct will decide that. My opinion would be that you will, in all probability, utilize this news in a manner both foolish and dangerous. However, that is your privilege.
Oh, gee, you've got me all excited. What's the news?
Your Captain Bradford is at this minute.
Commander.
What is the meaning of this interruption, Cleostra?
I offer my apologies for that, but I was frightened by the thought that we might be overheard as you gave us this news.
Yeah. What if somebody heard you telling us something you're not supposed to tell?
Do not presume so far. What I am going to tell you is common knowledge among the Euclideans. However, we will not be overheard. This sector is normal in every respect. We are as safe as if we were speaking in an open plot of ground in your own world.
Okay, Commander. What is it?
Captain Bradford has been taken to the transportation laboratory, where we will see every device known to the Euclideans, including the rocket ships.
We were aware of that.
Here is something you were not aware of, and I think the one detail which G47 has overlooked in guaranteeing your safe imprisonment here.
Well, Captain Bradford has figured out a way to escape?
Not as yet, but I would advise you to tell the captain this. Your homing pigeons may be found in the transportation laboratory.
Jerry, those little homing pigeons.
Oh, boy. If Tex can only figure how to get those pigeons up to the top of the water.
Do not raise your voices, and do not discuss this with the captain in your quarters. Bring him to this section, where we are standing now, immediately after lunch tomorrow. I will meet you here, obviously by accident. In the meantime, say nothing to the captain or to Mrs. Gregory.
But can't we even...
Tomorrow at noon, immediately after lunch, and execute your movements carefully. Your only hope of ever leaving this city rests with those pigeons. Make no mistake about that.
The magic island of Euclidia is completely submerged, and G47 has planned to have it remain so for a long time. That means that the chances of escape from the underwater city are not very bright just now. But when Jerry and Joan went on a tour of this strange colony beneath the sea, they were fortunate enough to meet their Euclidean friend, the girl submarine commander. She's given them a bit of news, and with it a great deal of hope. But Jerry and Joan can't tell their news to Mrs. Gregory and the captain in their own quarters for fear of being overheard. We find the two youngsters standing on a balcony which overlooks the agricultural section of Euclidia, trying to look innocent as they watch the floor of the cavern seeking Mrs. Gregory and Tex Bradford.
All right, all right. I didn't say anything, did I?
Not yet.
Then what are you sticking your elbow into my ribs about?
That is a reminder that you are to continue saying nothing.
Oh, okay. I know what's worrying you, and you can stop worrying about it.
Do you think we should continue our walk?
No, not yet. I thought I saw the captain and Mrs. Gregory walking over this way. We can go down and meet them.
Very well, we will watch for them.
Well, that's what I said the first time. If you hadn't given me an argument, we'd have saved a lot of time.
What would you suggest we do with the time?
What time?
The time we would have saved if we had not wasted it in talking.
You can say the silliest things. Hey, isn't that your mother and the captain over there?
Yes, I believe it is.
Well, then come on. Let's get back down the floor of this place and meet them.
The elevator directly behind us will take us to a point which should intersect the path upon which they're walking.
Okay, I can stand it if you can. But that funny cage they use for hauling pigs and cows around in this noisiest blame thing this whole crazy Euclidean.
I noticed that, Jerry, and I can see no reason for it.
Well, neither can I. It's easy to see that they keep some of the things human beings use around noisy on purpose so they won't forget how to hear with all the silence around them. But who cares whether pigs can hear anything or not?
It is indeed puzzling, Jerry. But perhaps a thorough study of the mechanism as we descend will advance our education.
Well, I don't need any education about making noises to please pigs.
Nevertheless, it would be wise to accumulate as much knowledge of Euclidean methods as possible. It may prove valuable at some future time.
Now who's talking too much?
I said nothing.
You blame near said plenty. Now let's get into this noisemaker.
That is really rather terrible, Jerry.
Oh, it's really worse than that. Well, put your fingers in your ears. Here we go down. Golly whiskers! It's worse going down than it was coming up.
I should think the pigs would resent this.
They ought to, but hang on tight. It'll soon be over. Well, we're here. I said we're here.
I heard you, Jerry. I was merely ascertaining that your statement as to our presence was correct.
Well, I don't blame you. Now, if this gate hangs together long enough for me to open it...
We have arrived safely.
Yeah, and the next time we'll walk down.
Hello, Joan.
Oh, Jerry, there are Mother and the Captain.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford. Come on over here. We got something to show you.
Well, if you were riding in that broken calliope that just came down, you should be worth looking at.
Are you all right, Joan, dear?
Oh, we are quite all right.
Well, it's nothing short of miraculous. Tex and I watched and listened, and it seems as if the entire city were falling in.
What's the idea of all that noise, Jerry?
I don't know, Captain, and Joan couldn't figure it out either. They use this elevator for pigs and cows. Maybe there's a reason for it.
Well, I can't imagine what it could be.
Neither can I. Is it all right for us to talk here?
Yes, Captain. This is the spot indicated as being quite safe for our conversation. We cannot be heard in any of the communication chambers, as this agricultural section is completely natural, with the acoustic properties of any open space of these dimensions.
Well, if it's a mile across, I guess we're safe enough then.
What was it, Jerry? Tex and I have been nearly frantic ever since you told us so mysteriously that we were to meet you here immediately after lunch.
That was the order given to us by the commander.
That girl submarine commander?
Precisely.
What did she want?
Well, she didn't tell us the whole thing. She's going to meet us here, right now, I guess, or pretty soon.
Have you any idea what it's all about?
Yes, Captain. I think it offers a slight hope for us.
Hope? Hope of what?
Getting out of this crazy city of Euclidia.
Jerry, you mean
Not too loudly, Mother.
Well, I thought we were safe here.
All we have to do is to keep our voices reasonably low, and above everything else, we must watch carefully on all sides to see that no one approaches.
All right, we'll watch all that. Now, get along with the news. What's it all about?
Well, that girl submarine commander can tell you exactly where to look for them, and maybe she's got an idea or two how about to use them. But anyway, she knows where our homing pigeons are.
Tex, those little...
Quiet, Mother.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll be quiet. But, Tex, those homing pigeons, do you realize what this may mean to us?
You bet it may. If it's humanly possible to get those birds out of this place, we'll escape, and we'll do it mighty soon.
Shh. Quiet, everybody. Here comes the commander now.
Where?
She is coming through that small door over there in the wall. You and I must go, Mother.
Go where?
It was the wish of the commander that we watch carefully as she explains her plan to the captain and Jerry. You will walk down that path and keep us in view. Study the trees or the flowers, and be prepared to warn us if anyone should come.
Very well, Joan, dear. Please tell me as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah. You're next, Joan. Better get over there by the door to the commander's quarters. If anyone comes through it, you can get bawled out for hanging around there and give the commander a chance to get away from it.
Such was exactly my thought. How do you do, Commander?
What are you doing here, Cleostra?
Just wandering idly around.
Very well. Wander as much as you will, but do not attempt to enter that door.
That girl sure doesn't take any chances, does she?
Oh, she can't. It would be just too bad for her if she was caught doing this.
Might I ask the purpose of your conference in this spot?
Oh, hello, Commander. I'm afraid we haven't any purpose in mind. We're apt to be found standing in spots all over this strange underwater world, just feasting our eyes on sights we never expected to see.
That would seem innocent enough. How much have you told the captain, Hall?
Well, not much. Just that you knew where the homing pigeons were kept.
That is well. And you discussed that only in this spot?
That's right, Commander. Jerry and Joan never said a word until they got us over here. But would it look suspicious if you were seen talking to us?
It might, if it were not for the fact that I arranged to have your presence here observed, and I have been sent to instruct you as to where you may and may not go on this side of the city.
What about the pigeons?
They are kept in a steel cage in the submarine experimental laboratory. I understand that you, Captain, are to work with G-47 in that section.
Right. He asked me to help him locate the weakness in those submarines.
Excellent. You will have ample opportunity to observe those pigeons and plan for their release.
Then you think we've really got a chance to get out of this place?
The opportunity is there. It must be well handled.
Have you any suggestions?
Yes. Encourage G-47 to allow you to accompany submarines and rocket ships on test runs. Attempt to establish the habit of carrying something aboard with you, something large enough to contain a pigeon at some future time.
That's mighty clever, Commander.
There is a reason for my position as High Command of the Euclidean Fleet.
I'll say there is. You think on your feet.
Only when I am standing.
Well, that's just a slang expression of Jerry's. What he meant was to say...
And I trust it will prove necessary to warn you again. I see that Cleostra is on forbidden ground. I will send her to you, and it will be well if you confine your activities to another portion of the city.
Gee, she's plenty smart.
She sure is, son.
Cleostra, you will join your friends and leave this sector at once?
Of course, Commander, just as you say.
Joan's getting bawled out.
And she's taking it well. I'm glad we know so many people who know how to think fast.
Are you two going to stand there and talk all day?
Oh, we're going to move on, Mrs. Gregory. We just got bawled out by that girl commander.
I think we were mistaken in coming to this side of the chamber. The commander made it very plain that we were to remain away from here.
And she made that plain to us, too.
What did you find out, Tex?
I found out where the pigeons are, or at least where to look for them. And more than that, the commander gave me a mighty good tip on how to use them.
She actually suggested a way to get them free? Release them from this underwater city?
Yeah, and if I can't work it the way she suggested, it's all my fault.
Boy, then we're as good as free right now.
Do not raise your voice, Jerry.
No, and don't get too enthusiastic over our chances. This thing will take weeks, maybe months to work out.
Oh, it doesn't matter how long it takes. If we have the slightest hope of escaping from Euclidia, we can surely have patience enough to bring it about.
I'll say we can. Oh, boy. Wait till Tex starts experimenting with those submarines.
It will only be a matter of time. I am sure of that.
I think we've talked long enough about this right now. We might find that someone could slip up on us. Well, let's all keep quiet about it and do plenty of thinking. Ideas will come in handy the next time we have a chance to talk it over.
I suggest we return to our quarters.
We may as well. We've seen everything we're going to be allowed to see today.
Well, I don't care where we go now. I'm so blame happy, I'm liable to whistle right in old G-47's face if I meet him.
That would be about the worst thing you could do, Jerry. We must all be sure to act just as hopeless as we're supposed to be. G-47 would get wise mighty quickly if we're too happy all at once.
You're right, Tex. A long face is our best protection now. How far are we from our quarters?
Well, if we walk, we're a couple of miles around those paths. But if we ride this nice, quiet elevator right here, well, we're only a couple of minutes to the balcony, then right around our quarters.
Then by all means, the elevator.
Suits me. I've walked plenty for one day.
This is rather a novel elevator. You may be surprised by its activity.
Yeah, and it's quiet, too.
I saw you two come down in it. But I'll take a chance.
Okay, here we go. Now, I'll open the door.
Good
heaven.
Were you afraid this contraption would be too quiet for us?
It will surprise you still further as we ascend.
Jerry, are you sure this thing is entirely safe?
Oh, they haul plenty of pigs on it every day.
Then it certainly should do for us. These Euclideans give those pigs the best of care.
Now I'll shut the door, and up we go. Oh, boy, am I happy.
Heck, isn't this terrible?
I've had smoother rides.
Jerry thinks this is very funny.
Well, isn't it?
Your sense of humor is rougher than mine.
Pat and I watched you come down in this, but it's worse than we expected.
Yes. I didn't expect quiet, as Jerry promised. But watching is nothing to the torture of riding.
Oh, we're here. Everybody out.
Now be careful, Jerry. Don't forget to look sad.
I'll try, but it's going to be mighty hard. I know what I know.
When a man has learned how to do something, he wants that something to be important and needed and wanted in the world. Well, progress tends to eliminate various old necessities and replace them with new ones. And sometimes people are unwilling to change. Once upon a time, there was the occupation of buggy whip maker, for example. And I wonder how many people today make their living chipping flint points for arrows. Various professions have been eliminated, and various others will be, by automation, by other forces of society. But sometimes an individual fights back, and that can cause trouble. Who's there? Who is standing there?
Excuse me, sir.
Come forward. Out of the shadow where I can see you.
Oh, yes, sir. I didn't mean to frighten you.
Who are you?
My name is Morrison.
I've never seen you before. What do you want?
The robot down the highway said that I would find the owner of this dome in the garden, but I couldn't hear what else it said. It's rusty.
Is it? I must see to it. Although it would really be wasted effort. You're the first visitor to this home in, must be 6 years, or perhaps it's 7.
I wanted the robot to tell me if this was the dome of Cram.
Yes, I am Cram.
Oh.
Come. Can't you see I'm wearing a very thin robe? The wind up the canals is sharp this time of evening.
Oh, please don't be angry. I need your help.
You need my help?
Well, you are a doctor, aren't you?
What?
Are you a doctor?
My child, I am the last physician alive on all the planets of the human race. The last except for Targ, whose name you also saw on the card index. But he is senile, and he lies on his couch all still.
My sister is sick up on the mountain.
Yes, I believe I have the signal honor to be the last physician among the race of men. Poor Targ, a hopeless case. He couldn't attend the ceremony that was 10 years ago, on my 125th birthday. Very impressive.
Oh, please listen, Cran. My sister is sick.
Thousands of people, educators, dignitaries honoring me, the last of my kind. A sad thought. And it's not right. I thought it wasn't right at the time. My profession goes back to the beginnings of recorded time. And then suddenly we're no longer needed. Turned out with a medal and a statue and a thank you.
Oh, Clan, what must I do to make you understand?
Let go my arm.
My sister is sick with some kind of disease.
It's impossible, my child.
I knew you wouldn't believe me. I just knew it.
Disease has been destroyed.
That doesn't change the fact that my sister is lying up on the mountain with her skin hot as fire 1 hour, as cold as ice the next. She trembles and she moans. Oh, Tom.
Young woman, is your sister expecting a child? If so, she should report immediately to the automation hospital. There's one down the road, staffed with the finest obstetrics.
There is no child. She's just sick.
I refuse to believe that.
Oh, all right, then. I'll go back and watch her die. Then.
Wait a moment. I would help you if I could, but I haven't had a case since I was 40 years old. There's been no need.
I know all that. I went to school once.
Disease is an outmoded concept. Chemotherapeutics long ago rid the human strain of its infirmities, cleanse the planets of illness. Psychotherapeutics cleanse the minds of men. To sickness is obsolete.
So all you care about is that my sister violates all your rules.
Perhaps it is natural death. Perhaps you should have taken her to the geriatric mortuary. We have not obliterated death, you know. And if she's quite old, perhaps it's time for her to go to the machine.
My sister's 28 years old.
Oh, I see.
How far is the city? Maybe if I go there, I can find someone who won't laugh at me.
Wait. Please, come inside.
So that you can joke with me again?
Be silent. Come inside. A little light, please. Pass your hand along the wall of the dome. There, that's better. Now sit down.
Oh, I'm going to the city. If I find someone there...
Oh, will you be silent? I'm trying to help you if I can. I don't know what I can do. It's been many years, but I'll try. Now, sit down.
All right.
How long has your sister been in this condition?
For 8 days.
What are the, I've forgotten the words. Yes, the symptoms.
Well, she's hot and cold and turned. She doesn't recognize me. Oh, she coughs and coughs.
Good heavens.
What's wrong?
It sounds like some sort of primitive illness. At the end of my practice, my last patient was a complex of neurogeriatric syndromes. I studied nothing but multiple ills. And then when the last of those were wiped out by the new drugs and the new techniques, why, I simply had to quit. But a primitive disorder.
I've bothered you for nothing.
What do you mean? I'm going to try, certainly.
What good will that do?
My child, I am a physician, and it is my duty to try. That much I remember. Come now. I think my unicar is still working. You'll have to direct me to the mountain to your sister. The man has really forgotten his trade. He can still feel terrible resentment.
She must be in terrible pain.
Ah, is so steep. So much juice.
No, but it's just a little further. We're almost to the dome.
Why do you live in such a desolate place?
Well, our father built his hydraulic sheds up here because he disliked the city. And when he died, we had to stay here because we didn't know any other place to make a living.
We're here. Open the door quick. Put on the light.
We don't have atomics, just a small generator for electricity.
Well, that'll have to do. Now, let me have a look at her. Oh, yes, you're right. Her skin is burning.
Oh, Neela. Neela, can you hear me? I brought a physician.
It's no use. I've forgotten the simplest words. What is it? What is it? Oh, yes, now it comes back to me. She's delirious. Bring the table closer. Now, do you know how to load one of these viewers?
I'll try.
Now, set the viewer on the table. The text on the film, if I remember rightly, contains close to 1 million diagnostic patterns. Now, just get the spool under the sprockets.
Oh, I think I see how to do it.
Now, young woman. Neela, that's your name, isn't it? Open your mouth for me. Come now, open it. Yeah, that's better. Now open your eyes. And I'll have to do it myself. There. The pulse. Now, where's the pulse? The arm. Yeah, no, that's not it. Lower.
The text is on the viewer.
All right, I'll code the symptoms myself.
Do you know what's wrong? Can you help us?
To answer your first question, no, I don't know what's wrong. To answer your second, I will only know whether I can help her if the viewer finds a diagnosis for me after I code the symptoms. Now, if there is medication prescribed with the diagnosis, and if by chance I still have that medication in my kit, there might be a chance.
Why did it have to happen to her?
Why, indeed. The learned men of all planets would doubtless be curious to know the answer also. Yes, let me sit that down at the view. Let's see. First symptom, fever. Second symptom, inflammation of the throat cavity. Third symptom, advanced olfactory congestion. In a moment, we should have the answer, if there is one contained in this text. This last key. There. Great heavens! John, can't you see the cards from the last appendix on the text? Antique maladies. Let's see what it says. Yes. All the symptoms are exact. The cause is a virus. There's the code name right there. The proper agent, let's see. At the bottom of the card, chemotherapeutic number 411009. Open the kit quickly.
What was the nominality? 4110. Oh, yes. It's here. 009.
Two of them, two of the tablets. Give them for your sister.
Neela, please do as I ask. You open your mouth. That's right. Now take these tablets. Oh, that's right. And swallow. Oh, that's fine, Neela. And now you rest, dear. And you'll be better soon.
Please stand aside.
What are you going to do with that?
This hypodermic, I want a sample of your sister's body fluid.
What for?
To give me a quantity of the virus, to enable me to duplicate the virus in my own laboratory.
What's wrong with you? Oh, your face, it looks so different now.
Viruses were virtually destroyed a long time ago, but perhaps immunity has weakened in 300 years. Perhaps if the cause were there again and the immunity was not...
Don't you touch her with that needle!
Please stand back, my child. I have helped your sister. A small quantity of blood in return is a fair exchange. It's not right that we should be dismissed for the medal and the statue. It's not fair. I'll make myself the scapegoat if necessary. Take the blame for spreading the disease. That's all right. I am an old man. But I have made it possible for others after me to practice medicine once more. The virus may mutate, the it may strain, immunity may be gone. Stand back. A few cc's of fluid in this little chamber, and there'll be disease again, and physicians to heal.
You get away from me!
Get back, I warn you. If I must use violence, I can still find strength.
Stay away! Stay away!
You force me to this. When a man is retired from his business, it's one thing to know that the business is still going on, that the business itself has not been retired. But somehow, it's a much deeper hurt to have the business itself cease to exist. If only that business hadn't stopped, that he could feel that something of his business was going on. I think that's what's bothering the ex-doctor. You?
My sister died during the night.
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry at all.
You must understand. I couldn't stay with you. I left you there unconscious. I knew you'd come around soon enough.
But my sister died.
I did what I could. I gave the prescribed medication. It's lucky I had some of it at all. The virus must have been too strong. The immunity factor down to nil.
And that's why I came. To ask whether I will contact the disease.
It's possible.
And could pass it on to others.
I wouldn't allow myself over that. I'd be making my own plans.
And that's why you took the blood.
Of course.
Do you think that this particular virus is widespread?
I am sure it isn't. This one case must be pure accident. I told you that the virus, as a cause of infection, like all causes of physical and mental illness, was totally counteracted years ago. And that's why I was given the medal and the statue, because they didn't need me or my kind. But they will again, and soon.
Oh, I've never had much education, but this idea of yours, it just isn't decent.
Oh, no?
You'd bring sickness to people just to carry on a tradition.
Not a tradition. The noblest tradition in the history of the human race. A tradition of comfort, of healing, of leading sick minds and bodies back to health.
But that was accomplished years ago, you said to yourself.
Yes, but it's not right, that's all. Not when so much has been given and sacrificed for the good of mankind.
What you plan to do is not for the good of mankind.
I won't listen to you anymore.
What you plan to do violates everything that's right. A doctor is supposed to heal, to cure.
I didn't do so very well with your sister, did I?
For that, I can forgive you. You said yourself it was a rare case. Perhaps it will strike me and I will die. And then it will never happen again. But to set out to create disease...
Get out of this laboratory, you little rat.
Before other doctors and look them in the face and say, I'm doing this for you, making others ill so that you can be doctors again.
There are no doctors except Targ, and he's senile. I am the last.
And you are very old and something's happened to your mind.
I warn you, leave this stone immediately.
Not before I destroy whatever you took from my sister.
You see this? A laboratory torch. See the blue flame? It burns. It will burn you if you come a step close.
Just destroy what you took from my sister, that's all I ask.
Not a step nearer.
If you don't, I'll destroy you and myself and this whole place.
You're a fool.
I know it. And I'm not very old or well-educated, but I may be a better physician than you are.
I told you to stand back. I'll burn you.
Is that it, the large flask?
Don't touch it.
Watch out, old man. Your bones move slowly.
Let's go. Let go.
There he is, old man.
I'll kill you. I'll blast you with the torch.
You missed me.
Stand still. Stand still.
You set fire to the wall.
Come back. Don't hide that way. Come out from behind there.
Now there's no chance for you to create the new diseases.
Now, which way? Flame, block me. You direct me.
I know, but I don't care.
It's not right. I am the last doctor. The petition must be carried on. They gave me a medal, a statue. It's not right. It's not right. Not right. If you're looking for a more secure and stable world in the future, I'm afraid you're in for unhappiness and disappointment. The world of the future is going to obey the ancient law. Change. Learn. Find a new and better way. Because the old way always turns out to be a little inadequate. There is nothing that's perfect. Let's go to work and find a better one. It's the whole point of progress. Do a better job than we've ever done before. And you know, when an occupation, when a profession, when a tradition dies, it served a purpose. The purpose does not die. That goes on. And that's what the old doctor didn't recognize. The purpose was to serve human life. And that went on. And always will.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. In a daring attempt to round up the espionage gang headed by Dr. Deutsch and extract from Deutsch the details of his so-called master plan, Clark Kent, Editor Perry White, young Jimmy Olsen, and Lewis, the Secret Service man, flew to the gang's headquarters on Volcano Island. Waiting ashore from the seaplane on which they had arrived, Kent went on ahead to see whether the coast was clear. The moment he vanished into the darkness, Lewis pointed his revolver at Perry White and Jimmy and forced them to enter one of the many tunnels carved through the solid rock of the extinct volcano. Dazed at this sudden amazing turn of events, we find them at gunpoint walking through a dimly lit passageway, their footsteps echoing against the damp walls.
You aren't a Secret Service man at all, Lewis. You're a spy.
Shut up. Stop here. Now, when I press this buzzer, the stone door will swing open.
Step inside. I said step inside, Mr. White.
Yes. Welcome to Volcano Island, Herr White.
Go ahead.
Good work, Max. Excellent work.
You have Kent here, Doctor?
Hans is waiting for him with 10 men. Come in, Herr White. Are we not old friends?
Deutsch, your friends live in sewers and only come out at night. They're called rats.
Oh, those are very unkind words, but I forgive you. I will close the door so that we will have more privacy. You had no difficulty, Max?
Oh, none at all, Herr Doctor. I would have brought the Lane girl, too, but she's at the naval base.
So she is of small importance now. So, this is the boy who has been giving us so much trouble. What is your name?
It's none of your business.
See, Max, how he mimics his elders? Already he has learned to be insolent. We will fix that, eh?
And the boy isn't responsible, Herr Doctor.
Responsible or not, he knows too much.
He knows enough to despise your kind of human being, Deutsch. That much I can promise you.
Go right ahead, Herr White. You have something more to say?
Nothing I might say would have any effect on you.
It is good that you realize that.
All my life, Deutsch, I fought against armed warfare, against the needless killing of men. But if it's the only way the decent, self-respecting part of humanity can get rid of you and your henchmen, I'll carry a gun myself.
A very pretty speech, eh, Max? But so stupid.
They all talk that way. They call it democracy.
Yes, we call it democracy, and we're proud of it.
Enough. We've had enough from you.
You're going to get more, whether you like it or not.
I said we've had enough.
You'll both be thankful for democracy once you're caught. We won't stand you up against a wall and shoot you down. We'll give you a fair trial before a jury.
I don't. Hold your tongue.
We'll even give you a lawyer to plead your case. That's democracy, Deutsch.
Mr. White, he's got a gun.
I'm not afraid of his gun.
Quiet, or I shoot you down like a dog.
Go ahead, shoot me down.
Shoot.
Yeah, what's it, Louis?
Oh, it couldn't be. How did it happen? Oh, fools that you are. Search every inch of the island. Find him, you understand? Find him or you suffer.
Is something wrong?
Kent has escaped.
Yowie!
Quiet. How did that happen? I can't understand it. Hans said he overpowered all 10 of my men. It's impossible. They were armed to the teeth.
I'll find Kent and bring him here. He won't suspect me.
A good idea, Max.
All right, call up the search for him. I'll handle it alone.
Yes. But first, we must get rid of these two. I will have them put in a cell under armed guard. This time there will be no escape. Hello, Hans. Send up 2 men at once. Call off the search for Kent. Never mind the reason. Do as I say. Call all your men back into the tunnel. How? Clear off, Hund! What have you a signal bell for? Now, ring it at once. Now, Max. The coast will be clear for you.
As the clanging bell summons Deutsch's men back into the narrow, man-made tunnels that honeycomb the volcano, Clark Kent, having escaped the trap set for him, has returned to the beach where he left Jimmy, Editor White, and Lewis, only to find them gone. Off in the distance, he can hear the bell echoing from the jagged cliffs. But at the moment, his only concern is the whereabouts of his friends.
Jimmy? Mr. White, where are you? Oh, sure, this is where I left them. I remember that big boulder. Mr. White?
Lewis.
They're gone. I wonder could they have waded back to the plane. What's that? Someone's calling me.
Over here. Behind the boulder.
Lewis! Great Scott, man, what happened? Where's Jimmy and Mr. White?
They attacked us, Kent.
What?
Led us through a tunnel. I broke away in the dark and managed to crawl down here. They took White and the boy into a room at the end of the tunnel.
Show me where it is. I'll go in after them.
So we'll both go, Kent. I managed to hold onto my gun. We may need it. The tunnel's up this way.
All right. I can't get over the feeling that Deutsch was tipped off that we were flying to the island.
How could he have been? Only 4 of us knew. Now, here's the mouth of the tunnel. I'd better lead the way.
All right. You sure this is the right tunnel, Lewis?
Of course I'm sure.
You told me you broke away in the dark. This tunnel is illuminated.
They might hear us. Now, here. Stand back a little. I'll press the button that opens this stone door.
Good work.
All right, Kent. Step inside. And don't try anything. I've got the gun in your back.
I suspected something like this, Lewis.
Nobody's interested in what you suspected. Get inside.
Okay.
Greetings, Herr Kent.
Close the door, Doctor.
Yes. Oh, Herr Kent, again we meet. It is my pleasure, my extreme pleasure.
Deutsch, I'm not going to fool with you this time. You've gone a little too far. What have you done with Mr. White and Jimmy Olsen?
White and the boy are safe, Kent. Believe me.
I wouldn't believe a word that passed your lips, Lewis. Well, Deutsch, where are they?
You see this lever, Herr Kent? The moment I pull it, the cell block in which your two friends are being held will flood with water from the sea, and they will drown like rats. Is that what you wish to know?
He'll do it, Kent. Be careful.
All right. You've saved your skin with another of your murderous devices, but only temporarily.
That will be for me to decide. You remember, Kent, I told you when we first met that nothing would be allowed to stand in the way of my master plan.
Is the plan ready, Herr Doctor?
Yes. We have enough radium. It is now being packed in capsules.
What will be done with the capsules?
I see no harm in telling you now, Max. You see this instrument on my desk? It resembles a miniature cannon, eh? Hidden in the lead barrel is a capsule containing 1/10 of a grain of radium. 1/10 of a grain, mind you. Smaller than the head of a pin. Yet powerful enough to melt this whole island into the sea.
But how, Herr Doctor?
I will tell you how, Max. Radium, like all substances, is made up of atoms. In steel, they give it strength. In wood, the ability to float. But in radium, Max, they give it power. The power to destroy.
But how can that power be used?
Watch, Max. And you, Herr Kent. I point the little cannon at the glass pitcher across the room. Turn the switch. Wunderbar. The pitcher explodes into 1,000,000 fragments. You have seen enough to convince you that here is the greatest weapon man has created. Within 48 hours, one of my little cannons containing not 1/10 of a grain of radium, but 2 full ounces, will be floating down on the city of London, destroying everything in its path.
That's what you think, Deutsch.
Stand back, Kent, or I pull the lever. Stand back.
Not a chance. You're at the end of your rope.
Shoot him, Max. Shoot him, I say.
Don't touch that lever, Deutsch.
I will.
I warned you, Deutsch. Now you'll suffer for it.
Kent, pull that lever back before the cell block is flooded.
It won't come back. It's jammed. Where's the cell block? Tell me quickly.
In the tunnel beneath this one. There's a ladder, but you're too late, Kent. The water's pouring in.
Press the button that opens that door. Hurry.
Okay. It's suicide, Kent. Don't do it.
Might be suicide for you, Lewis. Not for Superman. This must be the ladder. I can hear the water rushing through the tunnel. I hope I'm not too late. Oh, it's coming through here like a mill race. Most of the cells are flooded. I can't possibly tell which one they're in. What's that? Someone calling for help. Up this way. Good thing it's dark down here. I'd better use Kent's voice. Where are you, Mr. White? Hold on, I'm coming.
The cell's filling up.
Don't worry. As soon as I get these iron bars out of the way. That does it. Now, where's Jimmy?
I've got him. He struck his head when the first rush of water came through.
All right, hold on to me. Now, we've got to swim for it. The water's over our heads.
We'll never make it. Never.
We'll make it. Come on. Well, you naval men are the last people I ever expected to see in Deutsch's headquarters here on Volcano Island, Lieutenant. How did you get here?
Mr. Kent, the island is ringed with destroyers and Coast Guard cutters in charge of your friend, Commander Lee. We've rounded up all of Deutsch's gang, including the mastermind himself, who's aboard the commander's own destroyer.
But how did you know about the island? Who tipped you off?
Oh, Commander Leeds has known about it for some time.
What?
Mr. Lewis made all arrangements for the final stroke.
Lewis? He's one of Deutsch's men.
He's a dirty spy.
Well, he's brought us here at the point of a gun, Lieutenant. Well, maybe you'd better answer these accusations yourself, Mr. Lewis.
Gladly, Lieutenant. Kent, I'm sorry I had to mislead you, but it was the only way I could assure Deutsch I was working for him. I was the boss you were trying to locate. You see, Kent, I had to do it that way in order to be on the inside and learn the details of Deutsch's master plan.
And Commander Leeds knew all about this, Lieutenant?
Yes, he knew Lewis was posing as one of Deutsch's men, Kent, but that information couldn't be revealed to anyone. However, it's all over now, so let's get aboard ship where Commander Leeds can thank you personally for everything you've done. Your country is proud of you, Mr. Kent.
And so am I, Kent. How you ever managed to get Jimmy and myself out of that flooded cell will always be a mystery to me. Superman couldn't have done better.
And so another Superman adventure ends with Dr. Deutsch's espionage ring completely broken. But even as Mr. White, Jimmy, and Kent are returning to the mainland on a government destroyer, a new adventure is brewing. An adventure that will take Clark Kent deep into the snowbound forest of the North Country. So be with us again next time to begin the story of Superman and the White Plague. A story of mystery in the frozen North.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. It begins far from the familiar haunts of civilization, far from the streetcars and telephones and electric lights of this modern age. It begins in the deep, snowbound forests of the frozen north, where strong men battle the unyielding elements, so that we may have wood for our ships and our houses, wood for our tables and our toys. The ring of axe blades is sharp and clear, and the lusty cry of timber heralds the crashing to earth of another forest giant. Day in and day out, fair weather and foul, men pour out of logging camps to pit their strength against the mammoth trees that tower above them, afraid of nothing that lives and breathes, afraid of nothing but the mysterious legend of the North Woods, the legend of the White Plague. Nightfall has come to the Bartlett logging camp on the Big Beaver. The cold, whipping tail of a northeast blizzard lashes at the cluster of cabins. But inside the camp office, the two men who are seated at the broad fireplace find warmth and comfort in the crackling flames. The older of the two raises his iron-gray head.
Speak up, Gaston. What's on your mind? Must be something mighty important to get you out in this kind of weather.
It is very important what I've come to say.
Well, then, speak up.
Sir Harmon, I've come to say that I quit the job. I go back to Quebec.
You want to quit? Why?
I've got to quit. Because of the White Plague.
Don't be a superstitious fool, Gaston. I gave you credit for more sense. There's no such thing as the White Plague.
Oui. She come to Big Beaver. She killed Jacques Dupre and the Swede. She killed me next.
Take it easy, Gaston. Dupre stepped into a bear trap, froze to death before we could find him. Svensson killed himself with his own axe in a drunken stupor.
No. The White Plague.
Listen to me, Gaston. You're one of my best men. I was going to give you a raise in pay next month and let you handle a selling crew. But I can't do it if you go haywire any time something happens in the camp. This is tough work, Gaston, and it takes tough men to handle it.
Nowhere in all North Woods is any man tougher than Gaston Leroy. But nothing can stop White Plague. I will be named.
What you need is a good night's sleep, Gaston. We'll talk it over in the morning, eh? Go on back to your cabin and don't worry. I'll fix everything.
But, Monsieur Harmon, I tell you, I've got to quit.
Okay, we'll take care of that. On the way to your cabin, Gaston, stop off and tell Mr. Dawson I'd like to see him. Good night.
Bonsoir.
Nancy.
Yes, sir.
You'd better turn in. I've got something to talk over with Bill Dawson.
Has anything gone wrong, Dad? I couldn't help overhearing what Gaston said.
It's nothing but logging camp superstition, Nancy. Just because we lost 2 men in the last week, these ignorant fools think the camp is cursed. We'll scotch it. Scotch it fast.
I hope nothing else happens. Nothing serious, I mean.
You never can tell in this business. But don't you fret about it. Poor kid, you have no right to be stuck up here in the woods a million miles from nowhere.
Oh, I don't mind, Dad.
I know you don't, but it still isn't right. Well, another month or so, and I'll have enough to set you up in Seattle for at least a year.
Oh, but I wouldn't want to leave you here alone, Dad.
Don't worry about me. Hey, shut that door, Bill, before we freeze to death.
Evening, Nancy.
Good evening, Mr. Dawson. If you'll excuse me, I've got some sewing to do.
Go right ahead, Nancy. Sorry I had to drag you out, Bill. But something important's come up. Pull a chair up to the fire.
Thanks. Sure is mean out.
Not going to let up, either.
This fire helps.
Gaston was in to see me.
I figured as much. He's quitting.
Do you know about it?
Yeah, Kurt Travers told me. The White Plague's got the knuck. Gets them all when the snow comes. Never seen it to fail.
We've got to talk him out of it. We've got to convince him this White Plague is just so much nonsense.
Is it?
What do you mean?
We rigged up pretty good stories about Dupre and Svensson. How one got caught in a bear trap, how the other did himself in with his axe, but...
Nancy don't know what really happened.
Neither do I, Mr. Harmon.
Now, look, Bill. Don't you go back on me.
You don't have to worry about me.
Well, then, Why all this strange talk?
Because strange things have been happening. I told you where I found Dupree. In the crotch of a tree. A tree no man could climb without spikes. And he wasn't wearing them.
Yes, I know.
I've been logging a long time, Mr. Harmon. I bossed the toughest crew ever to swing axes up in Manitoba. Wherever I've logged, the minute the snow lays deep, there's talk of the White Plague.
But you know it's just talk.
Sometimes I wonder. When you find a man frozen in the river ice like we found the Swede, I wonder.
He was drunk. He fell into the water.
I wonder.
What was that?
Timberwolf. They're getting thick and hungry. Deep snow drives them closer to camps. We'll have to set traps.
Now, look, Dawson, you've got to stick by me. We've got a footage schedule. We must meet 50,000 feet of hardwood before December 1st. We can't afford to lose a man now.
I know, but if one more peculiar thing happens, they'll beat us out of here like rats from a sinking ship. You can count on that.
Well, then it's our job to see that nothing happens.
I wish it was as easy as all that. Loggers are a funny lot. They risk their necks every day in the week. But try and get one to walk under a ladder. Or let a black cat cross in front of them, nothing doing.
Listen.
Well, that wasn't no Timberwolf. Listen. Come on, that's a human voice.
Where are you going, Dad?
Be right back, Nancy. It came from up near those cabins. The wind carried it.
Are you sure it wasn't a wolf?
Positive. Wolf howl. That was a scream.
I heard it twice. Look, the men are coming out of their cabins. Who's that up ahead?
Kurt Travers. He bumps with Gaston. Travers, hold up. Come on, Mr. Harmon. What happened, Travers? Who screamed?
Must have been Gaston.
Gaston?
Yeah, he come into the cabin, took a drink, and then stepped out again. Next thing I heard the scream.
Where is he?
I don't know. He was right outside the cabin when he let loose with them screams, and now he's gone.
Dawson, we've got to find him. We've got to.
Gosh, Mr. Kent, I can't wait to get there. I haven't been able to sleep a wink since we got on the train.
How do you ever expect to wield a 7-pound axe if you don't sleep, Jimmy?
Oh, they won't let me handle an axe. Is it a real honest-to-goodness logging camp, Mr. Kent?
Uh-huh. As real as they make 'em. Full of logs and lumberjacks.
What's the name of it?
I don't think it has a name, but it's on the Big Beaver River. Walter Bartlett, a friend of Mr. White's, owns it, together with a few others further north.
Do they know we're coming, Mr. Kent?
Well, of course they do. Mr. Bartlett wired the camp. Jimmy, haven't I answered those questions before?
Oh, sure, but I'd just like to hear about it.
You little...
Ow! Cut it out.
Telegram.
Oh, there's a telegram for you, Mr. Kent.
Right here, conductor. Mr. Kent? That's right.
Now, we picked this up at the last stop.
Oh, thank you.
Gosh, I wonder what it is.
Well, we'll find out in a moment. Huh. That's a fine kettle of fish.
What is it, Mr. Kent? Who's it from?
From Mr. White. Listen to this. Suggest you return. Just heard from camp. Trouble there.
Trouble?
Yeah.
What can he mean?
I don't know, but this is a nice time to tell us about it. We get off at the next station.
Do we have to go back, Mr. Kent?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, Jim. Orders are orders.
Oh, hang it all. I knew something would happen.
Take it easy, Jim. We may get a chance to visit the camp, at least for a day. There's no train back until late tomorrow.
Change for San Marie, Calhoun, Great River.
That's our station, Jimmy. Grab your bag.
Okay.
Hey, you forgot that brand new red and black lumber jacket.
Oh, I won't need it now.
You never can tell. Here, catch. Come on.
Oh, it sure is cold out here on the platform.
You're up north, Jimmy.
Say, is that all there is to... What's the name of the place?
Montville. It means Mountain City.
Is that all there is to it, those couple of shacks?
Yep, that's all. I told you there were no movies or ice cream parlors.
Ooh.
All right, train stopped. Off you go. And don't slip.
What?
There we are.
What's he yelling for? Nobody got on.
Force of habit, I guess. All right, come on, Jimmy. Let's see whether we can hire a sled or a dog team and ride out to the camp just to say hello.
Well, I suppose that's better than nothing. Gosh, wouldn't you know something would happen? He just keeps saying that one word and cracking his whip at the dogs, Mr. Kent. What's it mean?
It means forward or go on. He's telling the dogs to move faster.
Is he French?
French-Canadian, sort of half and half.
Boy, I'm sure glad I wore my lumber jacket. That wind is plenty cold.
Yes, seems to be picking up. The man who got this dog sled and driver for us said there might be a blizzard.
How far have we got to go?
Another 5 miles.
This is swell fun, Mr. Kent. Oh, there he goes again. I guess that's all he knows how to say. He hasn't spoken a word to us since we left.
Canucks aren't very talkative.
What's he stopping for?
I don't know.
He's getting something out of his pack. A rifle. Gosh.
Uh-oh. I see why he stopped. Look over there.
Where? Oh, I see. Gray dogs.
No, Jimmy. Timber wolves. Listen to them.
Aren't they dangerous, Mr. Kent?
Oh, he'll scare them off with a few shots. He's aiming now.
Why doesn't he shoot?
Sacré bleu. His rifle's jammed. It won't fire.
Look, Mr. Kent. The wolves. They're coming closer.
Now, don't worry, Jimmy.
There must be 50 of them. They're spreading out, circling around.
Sortez, monsieur. Vite, vite. He wants us to get out of the sled, Jimmy. Hurry.
He's hiding the dogs behind the sled. What do we do, Mr. Kent?
Get down, Jimmy. Down low.
What will Jimmy and Kent and their Canuck sled driver do in the face of this sudden danger? The wolves are mad with hunger, ready to close in. Can Superman fight them all off at once? Listen again for another thrilling episode in this exciting story of the frozen North.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Roaring rockets blast off the distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett, Space Cadet.
At Space Academy, all cadets undergo rigorous training to win their commissions in the Solar Guard, rocket ship operations, study machines to prepare for future service. And one of the most important subjects for the cadets to master is the principle of command, assembled in one of the lecture halls. And as Captain Strong enters, they snap to attention.
Hey, sir! Stand easy, boy. Lecture on independent foreign government, the Student Council here at Space Academy.
Student Council, that's kid stuff. Hey, Stuart, Roger.
First-hand experience in democratic day. Now, the main class representative will be held next week.
Excuse me, sir, but can anyone run for office?
Oh, yes, Astro, all cadets are eligible, although it isn't advisable to have more than one candidate per unit. No, excuse me. Captain Strong here.
Message from Commander Arkwright, sir. He'd like you to report to him immediately at Interplanetary Communications Center.
Oh, very well. Tell him I'll be right over. All right, boys, that'll be all for now. I suggest you talk over the possibilities of a candidate from this unit. But whatever you do, choose your candidate carefully. Unit dismissed.
Tom, you're the logical choice for that office in this unit. What do you say? Will you run?
Well, I hadn't thought about it.
What do you mean, will he run? Stow it, Roger. How about it, Tom?
Well, all right. But I'll need both of you to help me campaign. After all, the other units will be putting up some tough competition.
Sure we'll help. Won't we, Raj?
Count me out, Junior. I'll be campaigning for someone else.
What?
Oh, candidate Roger Manning.
Captain Strong reporting his orders, Commander Arkwright.
Oh, glad you got here so quickly, Strong.
Anything wrong, sir?
No, not yet. It all depends on a certain message I'm expecting from Titan.
You mean there's trouble at the colony?
I'm not sure.
Well, you sound pretty mysterious, sir. What's this all about?
Here, read this.
Oh? What is it?
A report from the Academy Medical Laboratory about a new serum they're working on.
Serum? For what?
Well, a week ago, I received a report from Titan Colony that a strange disease had broken out, and that the medical team there was unable to control it. We sent another team from the Academy laboratories to help them and look for a possible cure.
I see. But this report says that they haven't had any luck.
Exactly. That's why I sent for you, Strong. This disease may reach epidemic proportions. If it does, we might have to evacuate all the children.
Where do I come in, sir?
I want you to map out an evacuation procedure and arrange all the details. Then, if and when the time comes, I want you to lead the evacuation fleet.
I see. This will be quite an operation.
Yes, it'll take just about every ship and every man we have.
Commander Arkwright.
Yes, Lieutenant Wells?
Message you were expecting from Titan, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Commander?
Just what I was afraid of. Strong?
Yes, sir?
Start planning the evacuation immediately and order all crews to stand by. It's an epidemic.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, how would you like to be like Tom Corbett someday? Say, wouldn't it be fun to go to Space Academy and learn how to pilot a rocket ship? Why, before you knew it, you'd be making trips to the other planets and blasting right through the whole solar system. But you know, even in 2352, you'd find some things are just the same. Isn't that right, Tom Corbett?
That's right, Spaceman. And one of those things is the way everybody goes for Kellogg's Pep. Man from Mars to Earth and back again. When breakfast time comes, spacemen all over the universe reach for Pep and start eating. Some spacemen eat Pep to get a good supply of food energy. It gives them a head start on a tough day's work. Other folks eat Pep to make sure that they get some vitamin B1 and a whole day's supply of vitamin D. And everybody in Space Academy likes Kellogg's Pep because it tastes so downright good. I take second helpings of Pep just about every morning. Say, how's about you starting your day the way I do? Pick up that package tomorrow morning and pour yourself a spaceman's helping of Kellogg's Pep.
Ah, that's a swell idea, Tom Corbett. You, me, and everybody. Let's start the day the spaceman's way with Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Unaware of the epidemic on Titan, the Space Cadets actively campaign for the coming election of representatives to the Student Council. Both Roger Manning and Tom Corbett are running for class representative and are hard at work campaigning for that office.
More weekend passes and less astrogation classes. Take it from me, fellas, I'll get you more free time. I'll get more games for the club room. And last but not least, I'll get you less work on the study machine. So remember my slogan, more fun, less study. Vote for Manning, buddy.
The Student Council was created to teach us the principles of democratic government. And it's the closest link between the cadet body and the faculty offices. Any representative on the council must know all the problems of the cadets and be able to fight for them.
Well, Tom, today's election day. I hope you don't feel too bad when the results come in.
I hope you don't either, pal. But anyhow, spaceman's luck.
The same to you. You need it.
Captain Strong here.
Strong, this is Commander Arkwright. I've just received a message from Titan. The children will have to be evacuated. Are your plans made?
Yes, sir. I can put the whole operation into effect on 2 hours' notice.
That's too long. It has to be immediately.
Well, very well, sir, but the cadets are in the assembly hall voting. Today is their election day, you know.
The election will have to wait. Order all ships prepared for immediate blast-off.
All right, boys. You can stow your gear when we get underway. We raise ship in 3 minutes. Take your stations.
But, Captain Strong, can't you tell us where we're going or what this is all about?
This is all I can tell you for now. There is a dangerous epidemic on Titan, and we're going there to evacuate the children.
Titan? Oh, it's swell. I haven't seen Sally Faraday in months.
And you're not going to see her now, Manning. No one is allowed to leave the ship. We'll land, load the children, and blast off again immediately.
Hey, wait a minute. What about the election?
You'll get the election results when we return. Now, for the last time, take your station.
Control deck here.
Hey, Tom, do you think we'll be able concentrate.
It'll do you good. Take some weight off, you big Venusian elephant.
Who asked you, Manning?
You know, fellas, I was just thinking. They've probably counted the ballots by now, and they know who the class representative is.
We won't know who won until we get back, Roger, so why worry?
That's a good attitude, Junior. Why worry about something you can't have?
Attention, crew. Entering atmosphere of Titan. Stand by for landing procedure. Astro, cut your rockets to 1/2.
Rockets 1/2, aye.
Prepare to turn ship, Tom. Set lateral vanes at 3.2 degrees.
3.2, aye, sir.
Astro, fire lateral rockets full burst. Now.
Lateral rockets full, sir.
Stand by braking rockets.
Standing by.
Braking rockets full. Now.
We're down, sir.
Cut rockets and secure ship, Astro.
Aye, sir.
Well, what now, Skipper?
Well, the commander put me in charge of this operation, so I'll have to debark to direct the proceedings. But I want you boys to stay here.
Radar bridge secure, sir.
All right, Manning. Now, get this, both of you. This Titan disease is a serious thing. You are to remain aboard ship and prepare sleeping quarters for the arrival of our group of children. Any questions? Good. I'll see you later. Oh, and remember, above all, you are not to leave the ship.
Hey, Hotshot, hand me a couple of those blankets, will you? Manning! Hey, Roger! Main quarters to control deck.
What is it, Astro?
Is Roger up there, Tom?
No, I thought he was working with you.
He was a few minutes ago, but now he's disappeared.
Did you look in the supply hole?
No, but I'll check it now.
Hold it, Astro. Oh, that stupid space-happy fool.
What's the matter, Tom? Did you find him?
I found him all right, Astro. I just saw him run across the spaceport headed for the colony.
Oh, no.
Yes, it looks like Roger was determined to see his girlfriend come with me.
Astro, we're almost finished taking the children aboard. Hasn't Roger come back yet?
Not yet, Tom, and the skipper was asking for him a little while ago. I stalled him.
Good. Listen, do you think you could cover for the both of us? I'm going out to find Roger.
Don't be a fool, Tom. He wouldn't do it for you, and, well, besides, you don't know where to look.
I'll ask around. Somebody must have seen him. I'll be back in no time.
Wait, Tom. What about the disease? You might catch it.
I'll have to take that chance, Astro. We can't let the skipper know Roger jumped ship.
Control deck, aye.
Astro, this is Captain Strong. Where's Corbett?
He was here a minute ago, sir.
Well, get hold of him and Manning and tell them to stand by for blastoff. All the children are aboard.
Aye, sir. By the craters of Luna, what do I do now?
Hey, Junior, everything go all right without me?
Everything went better without you. Tell Tom to take over here, quick.
Tell him yourself. I don't know where he is.
Huh? Isn't he with you?
No, I haven't seen him since I left the ship. Why?
Oh, great. He went out to look for you, and he's not back yet.
So what? He won't get lost.
No, but the skipper just ordered us to stand by for blastoff.
Don't worry. That's probably him now.
All right, Manning. Astro, take your station. Hey, where's Tom? I thought I told you to have him stand by, Astro.
Well, yes, sir. You did.
Well, why isn't he here?
That is,
Well, you see, sir,
I get it now. Corbett should never run in front of the viewport if he doesn't expect to be seen sneaking back to his ship.
But, sir, Tom didn't mean to disobey orders.
Take your station, Astro. I'll deal with Cadet Corbett as soon as we get into space. Control deck to radar bridge.
Radar bridge, aye.
We're clear of Titan, Manning. Chart a direct course to Earth.
Aye, sir.
Now then, Cadet Corbett, did you understand my instructions about remaining aboard ship?
I did, sir.
Then would you mind telling me why you disobeyed them?
Well, sir, I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I have no excuse, sir.
Oh, what's the matter with you? Oh, you're as pale as a ghost.
I feel a little dizzy, sir.
Oh, well, you better go down and lie down. I'll take this matter up with you later.
Aye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Tom.
Great galaxy.
Astro, get up here right away. Tom just blacked out. Astro, and put him in his bunk.
Right, sir.
There. Now, some blankets. He's shivering like a wet puppy. We've got to keep him warm.
What do you suppose is the matter with him, Captain Strong?
Well, I'm no medic, Astro, but from what I saw on Titan, he has all the symptoms of their disease.
But then what can we do for him, Skipper?
Oh, not much, I'm afraid. If the Academy Laboratory has been able to perfect their serum, that's our best bet. But we'll have to get Tom back to Earth in a hurry.
Blasted, I warned him not to leave the ship.
Oh, you knew about it all along. Well, then suppose you tell me why he disobeyed my orders.
Well, sir, he didn't really disobey. He only wanted to help. I mean, he just tried to...
Wait a minute. Strong here. Go ahead.
Sir, I have Commander Arkwright on the teleceiver for you.
All right, Manning. Feed it down here.
Stand by, sir. Go ahead.
Commander Arkwright, this is Captain Strong.
What's the matter, Strong? Any trouble with the evacuation?
No, sir. It's Cadet Corbett. I'm afraid he's contacted the Titan disease.
I was afraid of that. I hope you can isolate him from the children.
Yes, sir. I have him in the crew's quarters. But, Commander, what can we do for him?
The work on the serum is almost completed, Strong. The lab has had good results with their tests on animals. All that remains to be done now is a test on a human. Perhaps we can make that test on Corbett. I'll meet you at the spaceport. Get here as fast as you can.
Oh, what are the medics waiting for, Commander? I thought it was important to give Corbett the serum as quickly as possible.
He's still unconscious, Strong, and they can't do anything without his permission. After all, that serum is still untested on human beings.
But we just can't sit around here and wait.
Control yourself, Strong. You can be sure we're doing everything we can to help the boy.
Oh.
There.
Oh.
There, I think he's coming too.
Oh.
Let's try to talk to him now.
Tom, try to listen to what I'm going to say now, will you?
Yes, sir.
Tom, there is a serum we think might help you, but it's never been used on anyone before. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
We don't know exactly what the reaction will be. Whether there is some danger involved, so try to think carefully before you answer.
I have to think, sir. Go ahead.
Son, it may not work.
I can't be any worse off than I am now, sir. Besides, if it doesn't work, well, then you can stop the epidemic. Go ahead.
Good boy. Now, don't worry about a thing. These medics are very capable. And the commander and I will be right here with you all the time.
Close your eyes and rest now, Tom.
Aye, sir.
All right, Doctor. You may begin.
Spaceman's luck, Tom. Spaceman's luck.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, suppose you owned a jet boat just like the one on the Polaris. Say, you could sure have a lot of fun with it, couldn't you? Why, if you had to go to the store, you could blast right up to the door and nothing flat. But say, while you're down there, don't forget to get yourself some Kellogg's Pep. Pep gives a spaceman valuable vitamins and lots of food energy. Why, you get a whole day's supply of sunshine vitamin D in just one serving of Kellogg's Pep. And that's not all you get either. Kellogg's Pep gives you vitamin B1 and other food values you need to be active and to keep in trim. Now, that's why the cadets at Space Academy eat plenty of Pep. Pep helps to get you ready for a busy day. And say, Kellogg's Pep has such a swell, malty-rich flavor, all the cadets reach for second helpings every morning. As Tom Corbett always says, start your day the spaceman's way with a heaping bowl full of Kellogg's Pep. Right, Tom? So ask your mom to get Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
While the Polaris crew is returning from Titan with a shipload of evacuee children, Tom Corbett is stricken with the strange Titan disease. Under full emergency power, the Polaris proceeds to Earth, and Tom is taken to the Academy Hospital. There, he volunteers to be inoculated with a new serum that has never been tested on a human being. Now, several hours have passed since the inoculation, and Astro and Roger Manning wait impatiently in their dormitory for word of their friend's progress.
Will you sit down, Astro? You make me nervous. You could wear this floor out and it wouldn't help Tom any.
Blasted, I wish I hadn't let him go after you.
I didn't need him. I can find my own way around.
The craters of Luna, you're the most ungrateful guy I ever knew. First you run against Tom in the election and practically ruin his chances.
And then when he goes out of his way to help you, you don't even have the decency to tell the skipper.
Tell the skipper what?
The only reason Tom disobeyed orders and left the ship was to find you.
Why didn't he mind his own business? And you, too.
Cadet Astro here. Go ahead.
This is Captain Strong. There is still no change in Tom's condition, boys. His fever is very high and he's still in a coma. I'll keep you posted. End transmission.
So everything's going to be all right, huh, wise guy? Roger, you'd better start worrying.
Any word yet, Commander Arkwright?
No, Strong, no change. I'm really worried.
Well, what do the medics say? Did they expect this reaction?
I'm afraid not. Dr. Lee said Corbett could reach a crisis soon.
A crisis? Does that mean...
It could. But let's not think about that. Let's just hope. Yes, Arkwright here.
Commander, Cadet Corbett is at the critical period. Dr. Lee would like you to come over here to sick bay right away.
All right, thank you. Come on, Strong. We'll soon know.
Hey, get that, will you, Astro?
I didn't expect you to. Cadet Astro here. Go ahead.
This is Captain Strong.
Oh, is there any news, sir?
Take it easy, Astro. Tom is going to be fine. He's just past the crisis, and his fever is starting to go down already.
Oh, boy, that's great. You hear that, Raj? Tom's all right. Oh, gosh, that's wonderful news, sir.
Yes, it is. Not only for Tom, but for the colonists on Titan as well. Now that this serum has proved its worth, we can begin mass inoculations. We'll have this epidemic licked in a few days.
Let me have that, Astro.
Huh?
Sir, when can we see Tom? I have something to tell him.
Well, I suppose it would be all right if you came over now.
Oh, good. We'll be right there. Oh, sir?
Yes, Roger?
There's something I have to tell you, too. See you later.
Hiya, Tom. How's it going?
Oh, hi, Astro. Pretty good now, but it was rougher than a space storm a little while ago. Hi, Roger.
Congratulations, Tom.
Well, thanks, but I didn't do anything. It was all the serum.
Nah, that's not what I meant.
Oh?
Congratulations for winning the election.
What? Hey, Astro, is he kidding me?
No, he's not. You did it, Tom. You're the new class representative.
Well, congratulations, Tom. I'm really proud of this unit.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, Manning, you said you had something to tell me, too.
Well, that's right, Skipper.
Would you rather wait until later?
No, sir. I just wanted to tell you that it was all my fault.
Your fault? What do you mean?
Well, I left the ship to visit an old friend of mine, and when I didn't get back in time, Tom came after me. Only I got back before he did.
Oh, so that's the story. Well, I'm glad you were man enough to own up. Now, let me see. Oh, yes, there are some decks on the Polaris that need scrubbing, and some rocket heads that have to be cleaned, and all the hatches squeak. And,
the power deck needs a paint job.
Thank you. Yes, the power deck needs a painting, and the viewport is kind of dirty. Now, would you look after those things for me, Roger?
Yes, sir.
Good. And in the future, remember, I don't give orders just to hear myself talk.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
And Roger.
Yeah?
I'm sorry about the election.
Oh, that's all right. Just wait till next year. If I'm finished work by then.
Don't miss the next action-packed episode with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, when the Polaris crew rockets into space in search of a lost ship and her disease-stricken passengers in Part 2 of Mission of Mercy. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Al Markham, Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, and Carter Blake. Today's program was written by Hal Rine and directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious Golden Crisp Bran Flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other Raisin Bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
This program came to you from New
You, finding life rather dull, dreaming again of exotic places, wishing you were somewhere else, we offer you escape.
Escape with us now to Malaya, where a young doctor and a beautiful girl are faced with the horrors of plague and the bloody holocaust of a native revolt, as Charles Israel tells it in Funeral Fires.
Burning the dead. The column of flames sucked up against the night sky of the river town, leaned against it, held. And from far away, the dirge, the Malays mourning their dead. Then, drifting down to the landing where I stood, somehow the word, always the word in Malay and Chinese and English, plague. Plague had come to Lahore. Plague. That's why I was here. All the way from Delhi I'd come, my plague ceremony. The police lieutenant who met me at the rickety little wharf had been there for 5 days already. He was very young, and he didn't like his job.
Rather awful show, this. Don't you think so, sir?
And it's going to get worse.
You've brought serum, sir. That should do the trick.
It should, but it's not that easy. Every time a native sees a needle, he takes off for the hills, thinks it's something to kill him quicker.
Not these natives, sir. There was a plague epidemic here about 15 years ago. Serum wiped it out. The natives call it foreign devil medicine, but they respect it.
That's good. It'll save us some time.
Oh, there'll be a boy here in a minute for your luggage.
Good.
I'm glad you've finally arrived, sir. It's good to have a doctor here.
Well, they told me there was a doctor here. A Dr. Grimes.
Well, it says doctor on his sign, sir.
Fine. Need his help.
I wouldn't count on it, sir.
Why not?
You'll see, sir.
What are you talking about?
Wait till you meet Dr. Grimes. If you want a bit of free advice, sir, I'd rely more on Miss Randall.
Miss Randall? Who's she?
An American, sir.
An American? Well, what's she doing here?
I don't know, sir, but she walked in and took over the whole ruddy show. Converted an old warehouse into a hospital. Been slaving day and night. Wonderful, sir.
Lieutenant! Someone's calling you, Lieutenant.
He'll find me.
Who?
Compatriot of yours.
Oh, there you are, Lieutenant. I've looked all over town for you. Now I'd like to know who's allowed all this. You're responsible for this, Lieutenant?
Responsible for what, Mr. Ford?
For this here funeral business. Every native in Lahore down there by that fire.
Is there anything wrong with that, Mr. Ford?
I'll tell the world there's something wrong. My whole night, every last man down there singing and carrying on.
I'm afraid I can't stop them, Mr. Ford.
You'd better stop them, Lieutenant. Get down there and send them back on the job.
He can't stop them, Ford.
Huh? Who are you?
My name is Donovan, Dr. Mark Donovan.
So your name is Donovan. So that don't give you a right to... Hey, wait a minute. Holy smoke, man. You're an American.
That's right.
Well, now, that's different. Shake hands, Doc. Holy smoke. Why didn't you say so? Ford is my moniker. That dangerous American is the hole in the lifesaver. Oscar Alford, Cleveland, Ohio. Ever been to Cleveland, Doc?
What are you doing in Lepore, Ford?
Rubber. On a rubber plantation near here. Best little outfit in the whole shebang. And you know why, Doc? Because it's run by an American, that's why. Efficiency. Say, Doc, you'll get my men back to work, won't you?
I'm here to wipe out plague in Lepore, Ford.
Oh, sure, Doc. That's what I mean. Wipe out the plague. We'll show him, Doc. And if you need help, you can count on Oscar Alford. Remember that, Doc.
Yeah. I'll call you when I need you. Lieutenant?
Yes, sir?
I'll be going over to the hospital.
Right, sir. Straight down this road, sir. You can't miss it.
Thanks. I'll let you know when we're ready to set up our serum station.
Right you are, sir.
I left him standing there with Ford and walked through the town. Everywhere I turned, I brushed against death. It got into my nostrils, crept into the lining of my clothes. The deserted streets shrieked of it. So did a ravaged face seen through the door of a straw hut. Plague. And only the serum I brought with me could stop it. I walked into the warehouse that had been converted into a hospital. Rows of people lying on the wooden floor, hundreds of them, the dying and the dead. Then I saw her, the lieutenant's girl, on her knees beside a dying man. She looked up at me.
Hand me that cloth, please.
This one?
No, not that one. There, in the basin. Drain out the water first.
Miss Randall?
Yes? What do you want?
My name is Mark Donovan. I've just come in from Delhi.
That's fine. I'm busy.
I'm a doctor.
Did you bring the serum with you?
Yes?
Well, get it and get to work.
Miss Randall, I'm in charge here now.
I'm sorry. It's just that I'm tired.
I know. I need your help. We're going to set up a serum station.
It's about time. When do we start?
As soon as we can get organized.
Good.
Oh, by the way, Miss Randall, is Dr. Grimes around?
The rum pot?
The resident medical officer.
Look, if you want to find Grimes, there's only one gin parlor in Lepore. They call it the Nine Dragons. He'll be there.
Thanks. Miss Randall?
Yes?
Get yourself some sleep, huh?
Sure, Doctor. As soon as they stop dying.
Hey there, boy. You seen Dr. Grimes?
Dr. Grimes, sir, you will find him there, sir, at that corner table.
Oh, thanks. You're Dr. Grimes?
What if I am? Who wants to know?
I'm Dr. Mark Donovan, World Health Organization. I just got in from Delhi.
Hey, well, now, that's a fancy introduction, laddie. That's worth the drink. Here, laddie. Come, drink up.
No, thanks.
Dinna be that way, laddie. Take it.
No, thanks.
Take a glass, laddie. Take it, we'll have a wee toast. That'll be the ticket. Wee toast.
I said no.
You didn't have to knock the drink from my hand, laddie.
Dr. Grimes, how soon can you be ready to give plague injections?
There's no blasted plague here, young man.
You're drunk.
I say there's no plague here. No plague, you hear? That's what I say, and that's what I mean.
Come on, Grimes, we'll get some coffee.
You're insolent, young man. I'm in charge here.
Let's go, Grimes.
You come to send a bad report on me, have you not? Aye. Well, you'll not do it.
I said come on.
Right. I'm coming, young man. I'm coming.
Put that knife away.
Coming right at you, laddie.
I told you to put that knife away. Get out.
You won't send a bad report on me now, will you, laddie? Now, you tell me you won't.
Get up.
Now, what is it you want from me?
Meet me at the hospital in 1 hour. We're going to begin shooting serum.
Anything you say, laddie, only if you please, no bother, poor.
Just be there.
I'll be there.
I looked back at him. He was standing propped up against the table, staring at me. He was grinning like a great, evil cat. Grinning. I walked through the swinging doors into the street. Outside was silence. The cool silence just before dawn. I stood there, letting it surround me.
Don't be rude, Mr. Wu.
He stood barring my way. On his shoulder was perched a tiny black monkey. The Chinese leaned his face close to mine.
Please to talk with me. And if you are kind, also with Mr. Wu.
Another time, huh? I'm in a big hurry.
Mr. Wu is my greatest friend, the ruler of King Tosh Pet Shop. I am Kung.
I'm sorry,
Please.
but...
No, Dr. Donovan. It is to save your life that I desire to enter into conversation.
How do you know my name?
I know many things. Please to talk with me.
All right. We'll make it quick.
To waste time is not Countess' wish. To hold time is his greatest ambition. Is it not, Mr. Wu?
Go ahead, Mr. Kung.
My father was Chinese. My mother, Malay. What the Chinese and love poor choose not to tell, I learned from the family of my mother.
Look, Mr. Kung.
If you value your life, leave La Poor. Leave at once.
What are you talking about? Why should I leave?
What a pity, Doctor. Mr. Wu says he's tired.
Look, just a minute, Mr. Kung. We haven't finished talking yet.
Another time, Honored Doctor. Mr. Wu says he must go now. Say goodbye, Mr. Wu.
He backed away from me, nodding and bowing, the monkey on his shoulder doing the same. I turned and started for the hotel. Dawn was coming. The funeral fires were spent, the dirges finished, the Malays gone back to their huts to sleep. It was almost daylight when I climbed the stairs and walked down the hall to my room.
I've been waiting for you. Where have you been?
What are you doing here, Miss Randall?
I'm here. That's enough.
I asked you why you're here.
To help with the serum. You're going to need help, aren't you?
Yes?
Good. Well, do we get the serum?
Remind me to ask you a question, Miss Randall.
Like what?
Like, what brought you to Lepore?
I'll remind you. The serum, Doctor.
All right. Here in this closet.
Yes? Doctor, what's the matter? Doctor.
What?
I said, what's the matter with you?
The serum.
What about it?
It's been stolen.
Escape under the direction of Norman MacDonald returns in just a moment. The new CBS comedy star, Frank Fontaine, will pay a visit to CBS's Jack Benny this evening. The young comedian, who's celebrated for his impression of a sweepstakes winner and for his other impressions, will be given a royal welcome, even though Jack believes in buying a sweepstakes ticket only when a single horse is in the race. Mary, Dennis, Don, Phil, and Rochester will be on hand, too. So join the fun that only the Jack Benny Show can bring tonight on CBS. And now, back to Escape.
When they sent me from Delhi to Lepore, they said it was plague. And they said it was bad. Now I was here, and it was the way they said it would be. Plague and bad. Only from here on, it was going to be worse, because the serum I brought with me was gone. Someone had stolen it from the closet where I'd locked it. Someone who wanted to keep the plague in Lepore. I stood there in my hotel room staring into the empty closet.
How long are you going to stand there, Doctor?
I can't believe it.
Face it, there's no serum.
Well, it was there. I put it there myself, right next to that bromoquinine.
Cold tablets won't stop a plague, Doctor.
I said I put it there.
I heard you, but I don't have to believe you.
I don't care what you believe.
Maybe you sold the serum before you ever came to Lepore. Maybe you're trying to cover yourself.
Sold it? Why would I want to do that?
How do I know why you'd sell it? You'd have an angle.
All right, you said what you wanted to say. Get out.
All right, I'm going.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll ask you a question.
And I'll give you an answer. The police, Lieutenant. That's where I'm going.
How long were you in my room before I got here?
I'm going to the police, Doctor.
How long were you here?
You won't get out of it.
How long?
I don't know. 15 minutes, maybe 20. Not very long.
Long enough to take the serum yourself.
Sure. I was here that long.
Long enough to hide it and then come back here.
You're forgetting something.
Like what?
I had no reason to take it.
You've got a reason.
Like what?
What are you doing in Lepore?
Maybe I write books.
Maybe you steal serum.
You'd better get that serum back, Doctor. There are people dying. It's your fault. Get it back. Goodbye, Doctor.
And I had a couple of things to do. Ask the lieutenant to organize a search patrol. Cable Delhi for more serum. 4 days it would take to get here. 4 days of raging death. Because I had no serum, people would die before the sun went down. People who didn't have to die. And Miss Randall had said it. It was my fault. All right, just a minute.
Master, you no move. You listen.
Who are you?
Number 1 boy in shop of 1 Contact.
Contact. Oh, the old man with the monkey?
What same? Contact.
All right. You got a message? What is it?
Conti say, Master pay $5. Here, message.
Here. Now, what's the message?
Conti say, he no Master have trouble. Conti say, Master, come see him chop chop. No come chop chop, too late.
Is that all?
Him say, come chop chop. Chop chop, Master.
Anything was worth a try. I found Kung Tae's pet shop in a narrow, musty street just off the marketplace. It wasn't difficult to pick out because there was a crowd jammed around the door. Holding them back were 2 Malay police. I pushed through the crowd and up to the open door.
Oh, good morning, sir. I didn't expect to see you.
No, it's about, Lieutenant.
You haven't heard, sir?
Heard what?
About the unpleasantness.
What unpleasantness? What are you trying to tell me?
You'd better come inside with me, sir.
All right. Now, what's this unpleasantness you're talking about?
Right over there, sir. In the corner.
Kung Tae. What happened, Lieutenant?
Murder? A large caliber bullet, I'd say. Probably a .45. You want to examine him, sir?
No, that won't be necessary.
Quite right, sir. You know, I can't understand it.
What?
You see, sir, besides yourself, there are only 3 foreigners in that pool. Miss Randall, Mr. Ford, and Dr. Grant.
Well?
Well, that's it, sir. Why should one of them want to kill the old man?
How do you know it was one of them?
A weapon. Native skill with a knife or a rope. Mostly a rope. Never with a gun.
Yes, that's interesting, Lieutenant. And there's something else I don't think natives do.
What's that, sir?
Steal serum.
I meant to ask you about the serum, sir. Miss Randall mentioned it to me. There's going to be trouble, sir.
With Miss Randall?
With the natives, sir. I told you they were waiting for medicine. And somehow it's gotten out of them. They know you don't have the serum.
They're right, Lieutenant. It's been stolen. Look, I want all the foreigners in Lepore at your office an hour from now. Can you arrange it?
Yes, sir. You think there's some connection?
Between the murder and the serum? Maybe. Can you have them there?
If you don't mind my saying so, this sounds like a police matter.
You're wrong, Lieutenant. It's medical. Strictly medical.
I don't understand, sir.
You will. Just get those people to your office,
Yes, sir. Miss Randall, Mr. Ford, and Dr. Grimes.
You forgot somebody, Lieutenant.
Who, sir?
You?
Me, sir? Quite right. I forgot, sir.
I turned and walked out of the shop into the street. I had trouble getting through the crowd. It didn't mean much when somebody poked an elbow in my face. That could have been an accident, but not the man who jumped out in front of me and spat on the ground at my feet. This was no accident. This was meant for me. All at once, they were silent, watching me. Then from the hills outside the town, the sound of a drum, slow, ominous. And from somewhere in Lepore itself, the answer, urgent, threatening. Finally, I understood. It had gotten out to the natives. Somehow the people had found out that I had lost the serum, and in their minds I was the medicine man who had failed, the man who was making them die. My plan for getting the serum back had to work. I picked up my medical bag from the hotel, hurried to the lieutenant's office, a one-room wooden shack near the edge of town. I had things almost set up when the first person arrived. It was Miss Randall.
What's all this about? What are you trying to do?
It'll take a little while, Miss Randall. Sit down.
I don't want to sit down.
She stood and watched me take things out of my bag and place them on the table. The hypodermic syringes, needles, alcohol, and finally the little vial of colorless liquid. Then Dr. Grimes came in, cold sober. He walked across the room, sat down where he could look at me.
The natives know something, laddie. Something you didn't want them to know. They're heading this way. Aye.
Take your hands off! I had a little trouble with this one, sir.
And you're gonna have more, so help me.
Sit down, Ford.
Why, you little two-bit quack,
I said sit down.
Well,
That's better.
well, laddie, you've got us all here now. Perhaps you'll tell us why.
There is an epidemic on. I'm going to inoculate all of you with plague serum.
What are you talking about? You haven't got any serum.
Just this one vial from my bag, Miss Randall. The rest was stolen. All right, Ford, you're first. Roll up your sleeve. That's right. Now, wasn't that bad, Ford? All right, now you, Miss Randall.
You're gentle, Doctor.
Grimes.
Aye, laddie, get it over with.
Yeah. Okay, Doc. Now we've had the shots. How we going now?
Just a minute. Nobody leaves here.
Oh, wait a minute.
I said nobody leaves here. Lieutenant, stand by the door.
Yes, sir.
What's the big idea?
This morning somebody stole plague serum from my room. I want that serum back.
That's your worry, Doctor.
Yeah. My worry and yours now. All of you. Because one of you took that serum.
You're off your rocker, Doc.
Maybe you took it, Ford. You got a rubber plantation. You could shoot your workers full of serum.
Well, what would I want to do that for?
Oh, efficiency, Ford. The workers on the other plantations would die, and you'd have the field to yourself. Are you, Grimes? You were afraid I'd tell your head office about you.
I know you're wrong, laddie.
You've had it pretty good till now, haven't you? No work, plenty of gin. You were afraid I'd spoil it. So you thought you'd make it look bad for me, too.
No, laddie, you've got it wrong.
All right, Doc, you've got us here. Now, what are you going to do?
I've already done it.
You've done what?
That injection I gave all of you, it wasn't serum. That was plague bacteria. Straight plague.
So, what does that mean, Doc?
Well, it means I have to get that serum within an hour. Otherwise, every one of you is going to get plague. That's right. You think about it. Plague. Pain a human can't stand. Then when you get used to it, you die. Each one of you.
This is ridiculous.
You're going to die, all of you, because there's no serum. Serum would save you. Serum I haven't got.
Look, Doctor, those sick people at the hospital, they need me. Let me go there.
You forget, Miss Randall, you're sick, too. You've got plague. You're going to die.
I'm not forgetting. Let me go to the hospital, Doctor. Please.
Now, what could you do there? Put cold towels on their heads? It doesn't help.
It doesn't help much. I know that. They die just the same. But at least they're comfortable.
Don't do it, Doc. Don't let her go. It ain't right. If she goes, we all go.
You keep out of this. Doctor, please.
I can't, Miss Randall. Mr. Ford says it wouldn't be right to let you go.
Keep her here, Doc. Here with the rest of us.
I told you to keep out of it.
You want to weasel on me, don't you?
You're a fool. Fat and a fool.
Yeah. I'd be a fool to let you get out of here.
Doctor?
You'll stay here, Miss Randall.
But there's no point in...
You heard what the doc says. Stay here.
This is your fault, Ford. It's all your fault, the whole thing.
I said shut up!
You trying to say something, Miss Randall?
I've got nothing to say.
All right. We'll wait. We'll wait here as long as...
Hey, they're hogs, lady. They're throwing hogs.
Ford.
What do you want?
How do you feel?
I feel all right.
That's funny. You're sweating. Well, if you say you feel all right, fine. Because in a little while you won't feel so good. And you won't feel anything. You'll be dead. Have anything to tell me, Ford? All right. We'll wait.
Doctor.
Uh-huh.
Nothing.
All right. You're going to die, Miss Randall.
I want to die. Don't let me die.
Where's the serum?
Make him tell. Make Ford tell where it is.
He's crazy.
Ford, tell him how you paid me to steal it.
Don't listen to her.
Tell him, Ford, you wanted the serum for your own workers. You killed Comte because he found out. You!
Don't move, Ford! Take him cover, Lieutenant. All right, Ford, where's that serum?
How do you like that? Just a day.
The serum, Ford, what is it?
It's in my house, the living room. Under the floorboard.
Get a doctor. I don't want to die. Please. Please.
Lieutenant, you speak Malay?
Yes, sir.
Get out there and tell those people they'll have serum in 30 minutes.
Right, sir. Pleasure.
And take these two with you.
You're a hard one, laddie.
You ready for work, Grimes?
But laddie, you'll be taking care of me first, will you not?
Oh, you're taken care of, Grimes.
Aye, I'm taking care of. You fill me full of plague.
Oh, not plague. Water.
Water?
Yeah, water. Don't worry, it was distilled.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you Funeral Fires by Charles Israel. Lamont Johnson was starred as Mark, with Georgia Ellis as the girl Alice. Featured in the cast were Don Diamond, Ben Wright, Wilms Herbert, and Leon Lontock. The special music for Escape was composed and conducted by Ivan Ditmars.
Next week, escape with us to the barren wastes of northern Mexico, and the story of $1 million in cash to be had for the asking, if you live, as Anthony Ellis tells it in his exciting story, This Side of Nowhere.
Wouldn't you like to help wipe out tuberculosis? Wouldn't you like to help those now afflicted with the dread disease and prevent others from getting it? All the wonderful work carried on by the National Tuberculosis Association is financed by the sale of the Christmas seals you buy each year. So don't forget, help to fight TB by putting a Christmas seal on every letter you write. Escape is one of the fine programs the CBS brings you every Sunday afternoon. On most of these same stations, you can also hear the New York Philharmonic Symphony, the Symphonette, the Arthur Godfrey Digest, the new Meet Frank Sinatra Show, Earn Your Vacation, and Make Believe Town. Stay tuned now for Make Believe Town, which follows immediately on most of these same CBS stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking. This is CBS, where you spend an hour with Frank Sinatra every Sunday afternoon on the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Roastin' present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are in their spacesuits, examining the wreckage of a long-lost spaceship that crashed under strange circumstances.
From the looks of the wreckage, the ship didn't hit head-on. Came in at an angle right over those pinnacles of rock. How old would you say the ship was, sir? Judging by the fragments, what's left of the instruments, I'd say it was at least 100 years old. 100 years? Smoking rockets, what a story this old ship could tell. Hey, Commander, somebody or something shooting at us. The spaceship coming in low. This time they won't miss. Come on, get out of here before they fire again. Yeah, but, Commander, why would they fire on us? If we don't get under that sector of rock, we'll never find out.
We'll return in just a moment with today's Space Patrol adventure, The Treasure of Planetoid 60. Say, gang, did you ever try a cereal that tasted so good you felt like bouncing right up to the ceiling like a spring? Well, if you haven't, try Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. So good you just can't seem to get them out of the package fast enough. And when you see that bowl full of bite-sized biscuits looking up at you, why, man, oh, man, you can hardly wait until you pour on the milk and sprinkle on the sugar. And wow, when you dive into Chex... Well, sir, that was you bouncing right up to the ceiling because you like your Chex so much. So try 'em, Space Patrollers, Rice Chex. Delicious, nutritious, bite-sized, shredded rice biscuits. Hollow inside so they can fill up with milk. And Wheat Chex, a bite-sized treat made of energy-rich whole wheat. The super cereals that help to supercharge you. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex, the only cereals in the universe that bring you a magic space picture inside of every package. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Treasure of Planetoid 60. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have just finished inspecting Space Patrol units on the planet Neptune. Now, in the Neptune City headquarters, Buzz is showing Happy a fragment of bluish rock streaked with bands of violet.
Some odd-looking rocks, huh? What is it?
It's called transplutite, Happy. It's brought here by a gem expert named Hollister. He wanted it examined by the Space Patrol scientists.
Transplutite. I don't think I ever heard of it.
Very few people have. Outside of a few specimens in museums, no transplutite has been seen in nearly 100 years. Hollister says that yesterday 2 men came into his shop with several chunks of this rock. I couldn't believe his eyes. The men refused to say where they got it.
Well, why did Hollister bring it here? Does he think it was stolen from a museum?
Yes. We're checking by Spaceophone now with museums all over the solar system.
Oh, then this transplutite must be pretty valuable.
Extremely. Not because of the rock itself. It's the Arcturian in it that makes it valuable.
That's another new one, Commander.
And you've never heard of Captain Hartog?
No, sir.
Well, Captain Hartog was a scientist and space explorer who lived about a century ago. After a long space trip, he showed up on the planet Earth with samples of his blue rock. Some strange new gems that he ground into microscopic cutting tools.
Uh-huh.
The amazing thing about these gems was that they emitted radiation when a small current was sent through them. They provided their own light for the most delicate analysis under a microscope.
Oh, I see.
Instantly, there was a tremendous demand for the gems, and Captain Hartog was the only one who could supply them. When he was asked where he got them, he just laughed and said, from Arcturus.
Arcturus? Well, that's impossible.
Of course. Arcturus is a star 32 light years away. But the gem was called Arcturian just the same. And the rock itself was named transplutite, indicating that it came from beyond Pluto.
Well, didn't Captain Hartog ever tell where he got it?
No. No, he blasted off on a space flight, and nothing was ever heard from him again. No trace of his ship was ever found. Naturally, that cut off the supply of arcturium. No substitute has ever been discovered.
And is there arcturium in this piece of rock, Commander?
Yes. Well, here's a chance to use your new space patrol microscope. You got it with you?
Oh, yes, sir. Right here in my pocket.
All right. Now, focus it on one of those violet streaks in the rock.
It sure is a terrific little microscope, sir. I've been making fingerprint tests with it just for fun.
You'll find it comes in handy in hundreds of ways, Happy. For a long time, we've needed a small, compact, powerful microscope. But I turned down a dozen models till the security lab came up with this one.
Oh, it's a beauty, sir. It's light and still plenty rugged. I've got the microscope focused, sir.
Now, just watch that violet streak.
It looks like tiny sparks of light are shooting through the rock.
That's the action of the arcturium, Happy. You could see it better if the rock were polished. If electric current were applied, the arcturium would really glow.
Should I hook it up to a current, sir?
Now, let's wait till we get over to Hollister's shop. I want to return the sample to him before Corbett and Ruff get there.
Corbett and Ruff?
Well, they're the two men who brought in the transplutite. If one of their samples is missing, they're going to get suspicious. That is, if they're up to something crooked. Let's get over there right away. All right, Hollister, where is it? Touchstone. We left 4 rock samples here, and we've only got 3. Where's the other one? Come on, Hollister. What are you up to?
What are you doing?
Trying to make him talk.
Leave him alone. Take your hands off him.
Well, I guess. You hit him a little too hard. He's unconscious.
That was a stupid thing to do.
That Corbett, what business has he got holding out on one of our samples?
Maybe he wasn't sure what it was and turned it over to another mineral expert.
Why didn't he say so?
Professional pride, maybe. Anyway, we'd better shut this door to his back office and get out of here.
You got the other samples?
Yeah. Come on, let's go.
You, sure you searched every place here in the outer office?
Yeah, even the safe. It was unlocked. We'll blast off for Saturn and have the samples tested there. And next time, Lep, no strong arm stuff.
All right, Corbett. Let up, will you?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Hi.
Where's Mr. Hollister?
Oh, he stepped out for a few minutes. Just wait, he'll be right back. No, we're in sort of a hurry, if you'll excuse us.
Oh, just a minute. Are you Frank Rupp and Kent Corbett?
That's
Why,
what if we are?
You fit the description Mr. Hollister gave me. Then this must be one of your samples.
Why, it's this, that's right.
It's transplutite, all right, with arcturium.
Oh, fine. May I have it, please?
Wait till Mr. Hollister returns. Where did you get these samples?
We don't actually know where they came from. We got them from a space prospector we met on Jupiter. We're acting as his agent, so to speak.
You came directly here to Neptune from Jupiter?
That's right, Commander.
Well, if this prospector friend of yours has discovered a source of arcturium and wants to keep it a secret, that's his affair and yours. Why, and then you'll be going along.
Commander, what's that?
It came from the back room. Check on it, Happy.
Yes, sir.
You two stay where you are.
Sorry, Commander. We've got other plans.
Hey, what are you doing?
This'll take care of you, Cadet.
That satchel of rocks makes a nice weapon, Corbett.
Come on, let's get out of here, quick.
Happy, are you all right?
You get away?
You've only been out a couple of minutes. I'll call the spaceport and have a guard put on their ship. Check the back room, Happy. We've probably done something to Hollister.
Yes, sir.
You take care of him, then we'll head for the spaceport. Here's Corbo's ship, Happy.
It looks like we got here ahead of him.
They may have seen the guards and got scared off. We'll get them. First, we'll examine the ship. Up the ladder.
Yes, sir.
Leave the hatch open after we get in the airlock.
Right, Commander.
Now, wait, Hap. Look at this white dust on the floor of the airlock. I wonder where they picked that up.
Certainly not of any regular spacecraft.
We'll gather up a sample of it later and examine it under the microscope. Now, let's go to the spacesuit locker. Open the inner hatch.
Oh, they sure tracked in a lot of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, the marks on the floor, they were wearing spacesuits. That's why I want to check the locker.
Spacesuits? That means they've recently been on one of the moons. And this white stuff is probably powdered pumice.
That alone isn't much of a clue. There's a lot of moons, partly covered with pumice. Now, here's the locker. Now, let's examine the boots on these spacesuits.
Hey, they must have been wading in pumice halfway up to their knees.
Get the microscope out, Happy. I'll scrape off a sample.
Yes, sir.
Mere magnification may not tell us too much, but it might tell us if it's worthwhile making a more thorough test at the Neptune City lab.
The microscope's all ready, sir.
All right, I'll smear a little of this powder on the slide. Slip it into this sleeve. I'll take a look through the lens.
Oh, it's in focus now, Commander. There's some dark flakes of something mixed with the powder. You want to see?
We'll take a spectrographic analysis at the lab to tell us exactly what those flakes are.
Well, then we'll have a line on where Rupp and Corbo have been.
We'll also disconnect their vector computer and take it with us.
The vector computer?
Yes, if they didn't clear the settings after they landed, it may show us exactly where they were before landing on Neptune. Let's take these places.
Corbo, look at our ship. They got guards around it.
They must have come through and alerted the spaceport.
We better get away from there quick.
Yeah, get out of the city.
How?
A surface car. We'll drive out through the surface blocks at the north side of the atmosphere shaft. The space phone rapper to pick us up on a spaceship the other side of the hill.
We have to have spacesuits to transfer to the ship.
They're already in the surface car. Come on, now. We've got to get out of Neptune City before they put a guard at the surface locks.
I just checked with the infirmary, sir. Mr. Hollister's okay. He's on his way back to his shop.
Good. Reports have come in from the museum's happy. No transplutite exhibits are missing.
I don't get it, sir. If Rupp and Corbo didn't steal the transplutite, why would they beat up Hollister and attack us? What have they got to be afraid of?
I think I've got part of the answer, Happy. Rupp and Corbo apparently have stumbled onto something more than Arcturian-bearing rock. I think they've found out what happened to Captain Hartline.
Oh.
The lab has carefully analyzed those spacesuits we took from the ship. Remember those dark flakes in the powdered pumice?
Yes, sir.
They're bits of enamel, apparently scraped off of metal when Rupp and Corbo walked over it in their suits. Enamel that was once used to coat the interior of spaceships.
But how does that connect up with Captain Hartog, sir?
Because enamel of this type hasn't been used in 90 years. Of course, Rupp and Corbo might have been tramping around to reactor another old house, but they also show up in transplutite. There's only one complete.
The Hartog ship was wrecked here inside the solar system. There's no new way.
The vector computer from Corbo's ship gave us a clue. Corbo didn't come to Neptune directly from Jupiter. The formula for the vector curve indicates that they came from the direction of Planetoid 60.
Planetoid 60?
Yes. One of the thousands of planetoids that have never been officially observed at close range. The orbit is so freakish that old 60 has been out of the regular space range for 50 years.
And that's where Hartog's ship crashed?
And that's what we're going to find out. Let's get out to the spaceport. We're blasting. Set our velocity, Happy. Even at this distance, it won't take us long to completely circle the planetoid.
Yes, sir. Sure is small. Not more than 10 miles in diameter. I think I see something in the viewscope, sir. Sort of a dark area on the white surface.
You're right. Increase the sensitivity. More. Hold it.
It's a wrecked ship, Commander. What a crash that must have been. Chunks of the hull are scattered all over.
We'll put on our spacesuits and set the ship down. I want to get a close look at that wreckage. Give me the controls up. I'll take you in for the landing.
Have a look. There's a spaceship on the planetoid right near the wreck.
The story ship. Terrified.
How did he know this is where Hartog crashed?
I don't know. This is a good chance to get rid of him.
You mean blast the ship and leave him stranded here?
Look, they're in spacesuits poking around the wreckage. We'll blast them with a space cannon and land. You blast off in Corey's ship. What for? You don't want anyone to find a trace of Corey's ship on that planetoid. You're out in space, I'll join airlocks with Terra 5, and you come aboard. Then we'll set Corey's ship loose.
I get it. They'll find Corey's ship maybe, but they'll never know what happened to Corey.
Right. We'll be able to keep searching Planetoid 60 for the rest of Hartog's treasure. All right. Bring your gun sights.
Look at the wreckage, Happy. The ship didn't hit head on. It came in an angle right over the pinnacle of the rock. Yes. Is it Hartog's ship, sir? I don't know, but by the fragments, what's left of the instrument, I'd say it was at least 100 years old. Hey, look at this. A rock. A chunk of transplutite. There's more chunks scattered around. There must have been tons of it in the cargo hold. Man, there's somebody shooting at us. It's a spaceship coming in low. Corvo, break it under that overhanging branch. Yes, sir.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Say, Space Patrollers, how would you like to go along with me into a hidden world? A world your eyes alone cannot see. What am I talking about? How can you do it? Well, I wish I could tell you this very moment. But until the end of today's Space Patrol program, this great, wonderful trip is a deep, dark secret. This much, however, I can tell you. To get into this hidden world, you need a magical scientific instrument, an official piece of Space Patrol equipment. It's a surprise for you from Commander Corey, a new and different surprise you'll really go for. So stand by. Have pencil and paper ready, all set to hear this exciting, wonderful news at the end of today's Space Patrol adventure. And now, back to the Treasure of Planetoid 60. Through some tiny fragments of enamel found clinging to the boots of a spacesuit, Commander Corey, with the help of the new Space Patrol microscope and other laboratory equipment, has partly solved the mystery. He has discovered that Captain Hartog, a space explorer of a century before, crashed his spaceship on Planetoid 60. While examining the wreckage, Buzz and Happy were attacked by Rupp and Corbo, who fired blasts at them from their space cruiser. Now the two criminals are hovering above the scene, looking for a trace of Buzz and Happy.
Looks like we got him, Rupp. Not a trace of him. Yeah, that last blast not only finished him, it buried him.
The rock ledge slapped right on top of him.
Nice, neat job. Nothing to tidy up.
Except to get rid of Corey's ship. Get into a spacesuit, and I'll set our ship down.
Okay. After I blast off in Terra 5, where do I head?
Point it out toward the Pluto orbit. Then I'll join airlocks and bring you back aboard. Before you leave Corey's ship, cut on the automatic emergency signal on the space phone. That'll bring the Space Patrol out to the ship. And no one will bother about Planetoid 60.
Happy, can you hear me? Yes, sir. Very faintly. Are you all right? I think so, sir, but I can't move. I'm buried under a pile of rock. So am I, but I think I can work loose. There. My head and shoulders are out now. Like these helmets and suits are built to take a lot of punishment. I'll be free in a few seconds, Happy. Once you're able to move, these rocks aren't heavy. There isn't much gravity on this little planetoid. There. Now, Happy, we're... Oh, I see the top of your helmet. They sure came close with that space cannon. Now, I was sure that last blast was our finish. Evidently, Rupp and Corbo thought it was, too. Here, I'll roll these rocks away from around your helmet so I can grab you under the shoulders. There. Now, here we go. Thanks, Matt. Better turn up the power on your suit transmitter, Happy. I can barely hear you. All right. Is that any better? A little. It's all the way up. And you're pretty faint yourself. That ball of rock must have damaged our transmitters. Hey, Commander, our ship is gone. Rupp and Corbo are smarter than I thought. What do you mean, sir? It won't take the Space Patrol long to find the ship. There won't be anything to make anyone look for us here at Planetoid 60. And with our transmitters damaged? Commander, we're stranded. Yes, until Rupp and Corbo come back. If they do. They probably will. If they didn't intend to, there wouldn't have been any point in taking our ship instead of blasting it right here. Well, suppose they do come back. They'll finish us off if they see us. We'll take care of that when the time comes. Commander, look. One of the shots that Corbo and Rupp fired at us hit the wreckage. Churned it up worse than it was. Oh, what's this? What's what, sir? This transparent plastic case. There's writing inside, a small lump of metal with a chain on it. It looks like some sort of a bracelet. It's engraved. Captain Jules Hartog. What's the writing about, sir? It's dated January 15th, 2853. 100 years ago. Hartog wrote this, Happy. Listen. This is written just before what may be my last voyage in space. When we found we were unable to move our ship,
and that a crash was inevitable, we bailed out in our spacesuits. We drifted here 4 hours later. Now, the three of us, Mowbray, Clayton, and myself, are about to blast off on an emergency space raft. Our hope of rescue is slight, but it is better to be out in space, headed for the unknown, than to wait on this planetoid for the inevitable end. We leave behind a treasure. With luck, we shall return to claim it ourselves. You who read this perhaps are here by chance. Forgive us, then, if we selfishly decline to make it easy for you to obtain what we have discovered.
By years of sacrifice and the risk of our lives. And it's signed Captain Jules Hartog. 3 men in a tiny space raft. No wonder they were never found. And all this happened 100 years ago, but I feel like it just happened. I can understand why they took the space raft rather than stay here. We're in the same fix, and we haven't got a space raft. But At least Captain Hartog left us with something to do to pass the time.
What's that, sir?
Look for the treasure.
I wonder how long it would take us to search this whole planetoid.
Several days, probably. You know, Happy, I've been wondering why Captain Hartog left this lump of metal here with this letter.
Well, what kind of metal is it, sir?
It looks like platinum. Happy, do you have your Space Patrol microscope where you can get at it?
Yes, sir. It's in the belt pouch of my spacesuit.
Well, let me have it. I want to take a look at these scratches.
Yes, sir. Here it is.
Thanks. You know, from the shape of this platinum lump, it just might be a model of this planetoid.
Oh?
Now, if I can get scratch marks into focus. There. I was right, Happy. Captain Hartog left us a map of Planetoid 60.
What?
There are letters here, letters so small they can't be seen without the microscope. Planetoid 60. There's a cross marked at the base of this tiny lump. Under it is the word cave.
Cave? That must be where the treasure is.
We can pick out the spot where we are now. We ought to be able to locate the cave. See, over there to our left is a sort of knife-edged ridge of rock. To the right, 3 small pinnacles, a sort of triangle. Now, if there's something like that on the metal lump.
You find it, sir?
Yeah. Now, here it is. The cave is about a third of the way around the other side of the planetoid. Let's get going.
Okay, Corbo. Before I left Corey's ship, I turned on the automatic emergency signal on the spaceophone. You can cut the Terra 5 loose now.
All right, Rupp. By the time the Space Patrol picks up the signal and comes to investigate, we'll be thousands of DUs away.
You sure it's safe to go back to Planetoid 60 right away?
Sure. With Corey's ship out near the Pluto orbit, Planetoid 60 would be the last place they'd look for Corey.
Then let's go back and load up all the transplutite we can find.
Must be getting close to the cave, sir. We're on the rim of that saucer-shaped depression that shows on the metal lump.
If I've read the map right, the cave should be right behind that rock.
Matter. It's Hartog's cave.
Yes. Dug back into the bluff. Flash your atomic light in there, Happy.
Yes, sir. Hey, look at that. It's full of boxes. Back clear up to the top of the cave.
See if we can make out the labels.
Transplutite. Transplutite. Yeah, most of these on the left side seem to be transplutite, sir.
Millions of credits worth.
Wow.
Cash the light up there on the wall of the cave, Happy.
It's an astrogation chart.
Yes, the solar system. With one orbit marked in red.
There must be a comet orbit, sir. Moves clear outside of Pluto, then comes in fairly close to the sun.
Once every 100 years. Happy, that isn't a comet orbit. It's a planetoid. Look what the chart says. Hartog Planetoid.